Nope, haven't heard of anything.
There's no Legion content underway, is there? There's nothing important that we need to know about?
I don't think so.
Ah, I could
You
swear there
gotten
was a
any other
reason.
information?
I mean, I could swear there was a reason that I came in here today. I just can't for the life of me remember what it might be.
Let me run through my notes.
I'm sure I must have something in my diary here somewhere. Oh, of course! It's the Legion TD skin design competition. What else? What
Of
else,
course.
dude? Have you ever had artistic designs for one of your favorite units in Legion TD2? I know I have.
Yeah, I saw your contribution. It
I
was
mean, there's
quite good.
quite good. Yeah, if by quite good you mean the scribblings of a deranged child, then yes, it's quite good.
Well, you can't have it all.
You can't have it all. Exactly, dude. Exactly. Like, I've got the good looks and the brains, and I just don't quite have the artistic talent to go with. But I'm still fairly pleased with my red balloon chain fist, and I have seen there's been a few submissions on the Legion Reddit already. So people have got their ideas in, and it's only one day in. So I'm excited
Yeah.
to see what the community comes up with at this point.
Yeah, I'm already liking the stuff I saw. I think people have got a good eye for this, so
Yeah,
excited to see what we can have.
I think we might have some pretty good stuff by the end of the competition, right?
The biggest
Uh,
shame is that we can't have them all.
well, exactly, yeah. I mean, who knows? Maybe Lisk likes the design so much he goes for multiple, but we'd have to leave that one up to him, right? Oh, wait, I think there's something else on today. I thought it was just the skin design competition, but actually, I think we might have some Nova Cup games as well.
Oh, right.
Right?
Forgot that you can't just leave a tournament with 4 teams left.
You have to wait until there's only one. Exactly.
Yeah, and we gotta find that out today.
By the way, any co-caster cams in the chat?
Oh, I want to leave you alone.
There we go. Oh, no.
So it's a little high.
Little. Currently, we have a yellow box with a very small picture in the middle of it, which I'm sure is lovely for the viewers, but they may prefer the beautiful Ofma.
Yeah, is it? Can you see it?
Nope. There's camera disabled.
What? Turn it on.
There we go. Ofma, hello. Welcome to the stream.
Thank
A
you.
pleasure. So we haven't cast, I think you skipped a month in there, but it's
Yep.
really good to have you back on the stream. Like, a lot of
Good
people
to be
actually
back.
were commenting to me that they really appreciated your analytical capabilities and that you like have a really fantastic level of detail on the games, and that's just something special that brings a little extra to the cast. So welcome back, dude.
Thank you. Thank you. I love being here. You know, trying doing my best.
Yeah.
I haven't been playing that much recently, but
You mean
luckily
you're
this game doesn't change too much.
you mean you're camping?
Yeah, camping, camping rank 30.
Camping rank 30, yeah. Gotta get those juicy rank 30 ladder points, dude.
Oh, I saw you're catching up to me. I might actually
Yeah.
have to get top 10 again.
Yeah, are you still top 10 in the overall ladder points?
Yeah, I mean, I was sitting top 10 for a lot of the early season, so
Very
I've
good.
got a bit of a buffer.
Yeah. Well, you will have to start playing again then.
Yeah, he's this Pennywise guy. He's been top 10 for a while now.
I mean, it's this just washed up clown, right? Somehow just about
Somehow,
scraping into the top 10 again. Yeah.
somehow, some way,
Oh,
dragging Green
God knows
Spirit's
how he does
limp corpse over the finish line.
that. All right. So our first game today, Ofma, we're going to be casting pretty exciting match, actually. We've got the September 13 duo, which is Drakia and FC Lucy, and they're going to be facing up against 2 or 3-time champions Xgod and Shay. So it's going to be a pretty hotly contested match. I really can't call it either way between those two teams.
Yep. both of those teams. Well, we know one of them can win it all. We've seen that one before,
Yep.
and Drakir and Lucy we know are some of the more talented players on the ladder, and they've made it to so many finals that it's about time for them to finally convert one.
Yeah,
And
100%.
I don't think we've seen this matchup in the Nova Cup before. They just seem to get upset before their matchup is supposed to happen
Yeah.
past few times.
Yeah.
So
There
I'm
was the
glad
one
we
Nova
finally
Cup
get to
where
see it.
Drakir and Lucy were knocked out by L1 and Doofus, which was a big
Hmm.
upset. And there was another one, I think, where Xcod and Shay were they knocked out by Boone and Quacker.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, which is why these teams
Dark
haven't really
horse.
faced each other
Hmm.
in recent Nova Cups, anyway. So it's going to be really exciting. I think they're both very, very high level teams, and I
Hmm.
think it's just going to be a really exciting game. Like I said, I genuinely can't call it either way. I think it's a straight down the middle 50-50 between these guys. So
Yeah.
whatever happens, it should be an exciting match.
I do have to comment on X God's current form. We know he hit the peak rating of all time, so
Oh God,
he's
yeah.
on one right now. He
How
understands how the game is played.
how could we forget? Yeah, X God, now with the highest peak rating of all time ever in the world, 3,121 elo, beating the all-time record, which was held by Ashton Butcher for years, by the way. So finally, someone to knock Ashton off his perch, and maybe we can bait Ashton back into the game to come and bring his record back in house. We'll have to see.
Yep.
We'll have
It's
to
all
see.
ploys for X God to get his teammate back.
Yeah, for sure. All right, do we
But
have a lobby open? We do. There's a Drakir's
who
game with 5 of
who wants
12.
to get in there? I think I'm the one left.
All right. Currently, it's closed slots, so we're waiting for XGod to get in here, Lucy to get in here, Shay to get in here.
Indeed.
We've still got a few minutes before the scheduled start time. Do you have any ideas about the kind of play styles that these two teams might bring into the game today?
Yeah, I mean, the usual we see from Shay and X God is usually like slow, not crazy early games,
Yeah,
just very controlled, no starving or no like extremely risky long saves, but they'll skip, 2, 3 waves just to keep the game slower paced. And then I would imagine they usually in the mid game they'll look for like 10 to 13 type lines, 11 to 14. And Drakir and Lucy, they prefer probably a little more faster early games, higher workers, more income. So we'll see how that matches up in the early game because it's hard to get it to start sneaking away when the other team is playing controlled.
yeah,
But we should see the same ideas in the mid game. Both these teams know that there's no point in sending too early in this mid game right now. You just die if you mess up. So
yeah. So a bit of the good
tough
old
time.
overbuild and starve, you mean?
Yeah, one of
Yeah.
the classics.
Whichever team sends first loses, basically.
Yeah, probably.
It's a game of
Usually
chicken,
that
right?
it gets broken up sometimes if you have some offensive spells.
Hmm.
Overwork, for example, is a classic. Opens up 12, which is usually not the best wave to send on because a lot of people have great 12 answers from the early
Yeah,
game.
yeah.
But overwork can really,
Or if there's
you know,
ever just like a big shared weak wave, right? Like if both players are obviously weak on 13 or 14, then
mhm,
you can go for a big send there without having to go for the whole 7 wave starve into the mid to late game.
for sure.
Yeah, and I think I agree with your assessment as well. Lucy and Rakir definitely going for the more high income play style. And X God, yeah, he's quite safe, but at the same time, if you give him an inch, he will take a mile. Like if X God is receiving too many income king sends in the early game, he is going to push a million workers.
Yeah,
Like he's absolutely capable of snowballing when given that. And the usual
for sure.
playstyle we see from that team, the Butter Boys, I think, is that Shay normally, and not always, but normally Shay will be the player who is starving his opponent, trying to take the pressure off of X God to enable him to carry into the late game. I mean, I say that because a couple of tournaments ago we saw the complete reverse when Shay just went absolute carry machine and won the grand finals. So you could
Yeah.
never really call it before the game, but
Mhm.
that's kind of what I expect to see: is Shay enabling XGod and then XGod carrying later on.
Yeah, it's easy to forget that XGod was one of the best enablers as part of the XGod Ashton duo. So we know he can bring out either style whenever he needs to.
Yeah, absolutely. Like he
And
he doesn't get the highest rating of all time without being a fantastic player, right? Like he's
yeah,
quite
can't
good at
starve
Legion
for your
TD. He's pretty good. He's okay.
can't really enable your purple mates in ranked, so you do
Yeah,
have to carry sometimes.
yeah, exactly, exactly. So I think this should be a pretty hype matchup either way. Like again, I really can't call it. It's just so close between these two teams for me. I think if I had to cheer for one team, like if I had to choose a side, I would go with my heart and say Drakir and Lucy just because it's their turn, you know? Like
Yeah,
XGod and
for
Shay, they've won before. XGod's already won
sure.
2 or 3 times. He's won with Shay at least once. And Drakir
Oh,
and Lucy, like they're always making it to the finals or the semi-finals, and they haven't yet won a Nova Cup. So I'd really
what?
like to see them win one, just
Get the
because,
tags.
yeah, just for fairness, you know. But guys, enough speculation from Ofma and myself. Game number 1 of the September Nova Cup semi-finals starts now.
Okay, an XGod with some matching tags really ups the game. We'll see if Drakir adapts in game 2. Tag of his own.
Yeah, you've got to get that
Kasha,
mental edge right with the tags,
YOLO.
right?
Ooh, what a juicy YOLO roll, actually.
That's a really nice roll. Yeah, like that could just quite easily be a greed roll.
It just instantly locks in the Crusher because just
Yeah,
the most obvious opener.
yeah. And with the Nekomata
Then,
or the Infiltrator to back it up on wave 2 as well, it's really solid.
kind of surprised to see Cartel from Lucy, to be honest. Just straight up without. Because yesterday they were playing Fiesta Cartel, so I thought they would try and save the combo, but
Yeah.
maybe using Cartel to deal with some saves from Shay. Not. It's
That's
the hardest mastermind to break.
that's not a bad call. Actually, let me give you an idea here, right? Look at the spells, and we can see all out assault with no real big defensive spell other than maybe the pulverizer. So I think what you want to do is just absolutely maximize your power for that wave 11, 12, because you need to be able to hold that all out assault, right? So you take Cartel, you have the biggest early game possible, and the downside doesn't really kick in until a little bit later than 11, 12. So
Yep,
I
that
think
is a good call.
I think it's a really solid pick there from Lucy to just play like against the all out assault.
Mm-hmm. And wow, everyone has pretty solid openers. Just Flower Aqua, Green Devil Consort, Crusher Cats, Nightmare something.
And XGod and Shay both going for the wave 1 save, by the way. So let's see if they can make
Yeah.
anything happen here. It's obviously impossible to leak a Nightmare on 2. And Drakir, he does go 5 workers even to the no send, so he's just not showing any fear here. Obviously with his role, he should be fine against most sends.
Yeah, like could send 40 if they felt like it. But it's not an income.
Right, here is a snail from Shay just getting his 6 income. Again, knowing that he can't leak a Nightmare, there's no point trying. And we have
Pack
a
Rat.
pack rat. Okay.
That is some god gamer positioning too.
I mean, it clearly makes him unleakable on wave 2. So there's that.
Yeah,
But it's
but
really
there
bad
is
on
no
3 and 4.
40. Yeah. Okay. He's probably not too happy.
Yeah.
And the Fiend is going to be tricky to deal with, assuming that's what XGod is going to send.
Oh,
Because
for sure.
double
Right?
impact, swift armor typing, and he has the cat, which can kill the Fiend, but see how he positions it to not
Yeah.
get wrecked.
And in lane 3, Shay did receive a snail, which I think is going to make him leak really small. And by the way, he's 6 workers now. So this is just
Yeah.
a really, really long wave for XGod, who continues to save. Does he ever get a dino in time here?
Oh my.
No, right? It's not quite enough time. Oh, but so close.
Oh,
One Mythium off that Dino, which would have been devastating.
Dino would have been tough. Okay, so we have the Fire Archer, which can get wrecked by this Fiend if he sends the Snail. I
Yeah.
think Drakir is thinking about how to position it so it doesn't get hit, and he just opts for the Cat. It's safer, less risk with the Fiend. Now the Fiend is gonna go right and then onto the Pack Rat, which could be
Yeah.
problematic. We'll see how it plays out.
I think Drakir's leaking pretty decently here.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, X-God with 180 value does receive a DT here, but perfect split tank between his Aqua and his Honeyflower gives him, like, he's only going to leak for Dragon Turtle, right? Or maybe even
Yeah,
Full
he's
Hold.
completely.
We go back to Drakir. This is where the action's at.
Oh.
I think he doesn't even kill the Fiend.
Yeah, this
This
is
is
like
just...
Ooh.
No! 103% home run on wave 3 for Drakir.
He's gonna be kicking himself about the Pack Rat. He just had
Yeah.
the wrong read and it snowballs. Like, if he goes for the Cat, he's just fine.
Yeah, he
But
makes the Nekomata on 2. This wave goes very differently.
it's tough to make that read because he knows that he could get 40 because of Cash Out. Cash Out Flower could definitely do it.
Yeah.
So,
We do have a Dino send coming out from Drakir as well, though. So, Shay, what is your answer? He can't get the Fire Elemental without selling the Buzz, and he
yeah.
doesn't want to do that, so he looks like he's just going for a Consort.
Could be fine. This Aqua just needs to live,
Yeah.
and then he's fine. His value's low, but he has something to kill the Dino. Problem is, if the Consort gets stuck on the Dino without the Green Devil hitting it, then you have some issues.
Yeah. Alright, let's see what happens.
Or if the Dino just kills the Aqua, that's also not good.
The Aqua's dying very quickly, but we do have a
It's
very
okay.
nice split tank there between the two units.
Yep.
And it looks like he's going to leak, but not very badly. Like, he's fine with
They're
this
fine
leak.
with that. Like, they have a lot of Mythium. It's gonna
Yeah.
be a big send. Problem? Like, Wave 6 looks pretty good.
Oh,
And even though the Nightmare's traditional weak wave is... Okay, well, they're just going
yeah,
fine.
Imps on 5. Okay. And we have
Fair
Brute
enough.
as well from X-God, who will get a second one post-income. So things are starting to look pretty dangerous now for Lucy and Drakir.
Yep. They're close to value. Not the scariest, but Brutes are rough for Crusher. Usually like an insane unit on 5, but once you start breaking their thresholds for healing, then it gets tough for them to hold. So big sends are always better.
Both of them very, very high value, like you say. Only minus 29 there for Drakir.
Yeah. If
Guns are big, though.
I mean, this is pretty nice tanking. The Atom will live.
Atom will live,
The Imps
continue
are
doing
just
damage.
absolutely wrecking the works, though.
Yeah,
That
the Imps is
sucks.
such a good send against Lucy's board. Meanwhile,
Okay.
Drakir, how is he doing? It looks like he will leak, but not badly, honestly. He's doing okay. Lucy,
Yep.
41%. Drakir, probably about the same. Yeah, 44. Okay.
A little bit of king damage.
Yeah. These units on wave 5 do some pretty serious king damage. I think this
Yep.
might bring them below 80, maybe even 70.
Yeah, I think so as well.
Oh, wow.
Imps and Brutes on the king are... Oh, well, yeah, that
Okay.
seems...
Maybe below 70. How about below
Just-
60?
Yeah, just 40% of your king? That's
That
tough.
is- Yeah.
I
Talk
started
about
with a
chip
slight
damage.
worker lead. Okay, let's see.
Okay, we do have a very slight income lead for Drakir and Lucy, but X-God with that one extra worker will change that very quickly. And
Yeah, and we have to remember it's Cartel that's giving the
oh, of
light
course,
bonus.
yeah.
And for the cash out player to be equalized, that's usually a good sign.
Yeah, oh, 100%. Actually, that's looking pretty bad for Lucy, I would say. The fact that
He
she's
really wants
only...
this game to end.
Yeah. The fact that she's kind of only just above the rest of the players in the game while on Cartel is looking really risky for Lucy. Like you say, she needs to make something happen now, like before or after Wave 11.
And like you mentioned about AoA, now with some king damage, AoA is a lot scarier.
Yeah.
But also, Wave 10 doing so much damage to the king might lead to a good undercut on 10 if both teams are scared of 11.
I think Wave 9 looks really good against both Drakir and Lucy. And Shay and Xgod are saving, so maybe they have that in mind already.
Yeah, and this lizard should help X-God feel more comfortable skipping if he wants to. Because
Yeah.
he's probably not getting the Mole Hermit that would be the normal issue for his build on 8.
Yeah. Well, both Shay and Xgod are on Aqua builds, by the way. So they are both very vulnerable to the Mole Hermit, which you just mentioned. But we do see a
Here comes.
Berserker in Shay's lineup, and Xgod's actually. So both of them can drop one of those to shred the Mole if they want to.
Yeah, it sets themselves up for holding 10 easily. Yeah, so Mole on both. X-God and Shay look like they want to save, though. Like you mentioned, going for that wave 9. See, this could be a turning point, because if... Okay, they're on value, they're probably going to hold.
They're on value, but Aqua's just so vulnerable to that Mole on 8. Now we do see the Berserker.
Answer.
Yeah.
Not going for the answer here.
He might regret that in a minute.
I'm also curious, this Mole might just go right. Have a nice... he's sending a Brute, so the Mole is going right.
The Mole's definitely going right, yeah.
So the Mole might just chill forever. We'll see.
Alright. Find out. Only a 140 against Xgod.
Oh.
I think because there's nothing to go with the Mole, he's going to do pretty well.
Now we see the Zerker and the Green Devil killing the Mole pretty fast.
Yeah.
The Aqua's good job split
Aqua's tanking nicely, staying alive. Does it even live?
Much.
I think it lives.
Ooh.
Wow.
That is juicy.
And meanwhile,
perfect
Xgod, he's
aggro.
holding as well. Do they just go straight
easily.
11 now?
It's definitely a possibility.
I think they're doing. I think this is just going to be an AOA like all-in play to end the game on wave 11.
Yeah. AOA death, no king. Like AOA can be a makeshift defensive spell, you know, to get the king ups, but if you're leaking big enough, it doesn't really matter how much king you have.
Yeah, exactly. And there's even
This
another Dragon Turtle here from Drakir. Like, there's just no pressure on Shay at this point.
Yeah, had the income to get... Oh, didn't actually need income for his gate, but I guess he felt like... Or he wanted the split.
He wanted the boost as well, right?
Oh. Boost into no send. You hate to see it.
This game is spiraling out of control for Drakir and Lucy already.
Best thing they can hope for is the accidental shutdown here on 10. With Aquas, it always happens.
Yeah, but not on wave 9 though.
Or he's not on shutdown, thankfully. The Dragon Turtle was just too much for him, actually.
That's a
But
pro
they'll
leak
take
there
it.
for Shay. Yeah.
Yeah, X-God Smith him.
They can
Good for
definitely both leak on 10 though if there's big sends. There are income sends coming out. They do save, so this is definitely an all-in, all-out assault wave 11 send from Shay and Xgod.
Yeah. Oh, I don't think that's the best. Like building for 11. I think you really just need to make sure you hold here. But he's not on shutdown.
I think they're hedging their bets. So Shay's built double Berserker, and Xgod's just building more for wave 11 because they can still lose a race with AoA on 11, right? Just because their value's so low.
Oh, wow. Shay building the best unit in the game on 10.
Oh, what a god gamer. Consort is going to absolutely destroy this boss.
Okay, well, if Shay leaks to this lizard, it'll be sad sight.
Yeah.
Considering double Zerker.
Lizard is down. We might get a pro leak from Xgod, who's not on fire this wave, by the way. He was on wave 9. Isn't anymore.
Escaped the shutdown drill.
Shay easily holding, and here come the sends. Yeah, we do have a pro leak from Xgod.
Okay, 4 Eyes DTs into Lucy. Yep, pretty reasonable against the Orchid and the...
Xgod has 420 Mythium, by the way, before the all-out assault kicks in.
Actually, you could send Kraken.
This is going to be a send.
Kraken is insane against Drakir's build. He literally can't kill it. I guess Double Witch.
Double Witch DT. Okay.
Lame.
And we do have all-out assault king ups from Drakir. Maybe the same from Lucy as well.
Probably should. Could go Polv and Doppel and pray for the miracle holds. If you perma-stun everything, then you don't leak.
Yeah, that's true.
Probably not happening, but we'll see. The Cartel is probably the best mastermind at this point for wave 11 to hold, but it's tough looks.
Look at these values, dude. -440 on Drakir, -315 on Lucy.
Yeah,
Who
that's a
still
tough
hasn't
one.
chosen her mastermind option. It is the pulverizer. It is the pulverizer. Okay, but the sends are just so huge.
Okay, Senful, nice. Pack leader, that's very strong. It should live forever with the tanks
Yeah.
in front.
Yeah. It even goes into the split as well.
Yeah.
We have a 600 Mythium send into Drakea's lane, a 560 into Lucy's lane, and I'm pretty sure we just see game number 1 ending here.
Hello?
Wow.
Orchid, oh. Well,
Oof.
ouch.
GG. Shay and X-God. What a performance.
Yep, really solid stuff. That early game was insane. The save on one really ruined Jakir's day.
Yeah.
And got them their like big leads to go for the big 5-cent.
Wow. That was just absolutely devastating play from Shay and X-God. Let's have a quick look through some of these waves. So we saw, the Fiend Snail just ruining Drakea's lane on wave 3. Like you say, the fact that he went for that pack rat on 2, like it was nice if he gets a wave 2 send. But if he just goes for the Neko or the Infiltrator, he can perform so much better on 3. A little bit backfiring there with the pack rat.
And his game state was just so ruined. He literally couldn't hunt a single wave.
Yeah.
Like it was just a pack rat for a pack rat.
Yeah. And we had big sends on 5, which only caused fairly small leaks. But of course, Imps and Brutes are just so strong at this early stage of the game that they lose nearly half of their King's HP already.
Yeah.
And from here, like, what can they do? They're just on the back foot. And we just get a 5 straight into 11 with all our assaults end. It's just absolutely crushing play there from Shay and X-God.
Yeah, really good read to just recognize that with the AoE, like with how they held their Mythium on 8, and then they go for the easy like kill once they know they saw the king is low, they're like looking for their opportunity,
Yeah.
and then the holding 8 gives them the opportunity to just go long.
Wow, that was just a really, really impressive performance by the Canadian duo. Like, I don't know. I said that this matchup was going to be 50-50, but if it carries on like this, I just feel that the Butter Boys are kind of leagues ahead almost. Like they were just in control of that game right from the very start.
Yeah, I wonder if Drakir or Lucy will play Fiesta this game, because that could be something to just completely flip the pace of the game, which they seem to just didn't have control of it this game.
Yeah.
So Fiesta can really manipulate, like, you have to send Fiesta players, or else they're going to do some interesting, they're just going to snowball if they just keep getting their pro leagues.
Yeah.
So that you can really mess up people's timings.
Mm-hmm.
So curious to see. They can both play it. It works, pairs well with the cartel that they also play, so we'll see if they go for something different, and I would imagine Chain X go just do a little switcheroo and play Cash Out and Greed.
Yeah. You have to be feeling a bit sweaty right now if you're Drakeer and Lucy, right? Because they can't afford to drop another game. It's a best of 3, and they're already 1-0 down. So I like the Fiesta call. I do like it. And I know Lucy in particular has been practicing it a lot on the ladder. But do you dare to pick Fiesta when you're 1 game down in a best of 3 to make it through to the finals?
Yeah, it's really risky.
Yeah. I'd love to see it. I just don't know if they dare, basically.
Yeah. They trust it enough.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen of Twitch chat, this is a very rapid-paced match, and we are into game number 2 already. Let's get it on.
Yeah,
and you called it Fiesta Cartel. Ofma, you're reading their minds.
Let's see what X-God goes for. I don't think he's gonna pull out anything too spicy, but you never know.
Never know. Can I leave you to talk about roles for a second, and I'll put a scoreboard up on the screen?
Sure. I'm taking a look at the Fiesta rules. I don't see anything too crazy. Cat's probably the best bet. And here, again, has his Pressure Cat if he wants it. He also has Atom Cat, which I know he loves. With some strong answers for 6, like the Zerker. Let's see what Shay has with Cash Out. Probably something either with the Archer or just tier 3s with the Wildshroom Morg, Looter. And X-God has pretty nice late game role. Can get to his Fire Lord with Leviathan. And Lucy does go for the cat opener. Pretty classic Fiesta. Should be like one of the better pro leagues. Obviously,
Yeah,
Windhawk, Consort the best, but can't always have it all. And Drake does go for Adam Cat, which
which is a
is like
lovely
nice
opener
six
as
worker
well.
opener.
Yeah.
Trey going for Disciple. Not my favorite opener because of how slow it is. Oh, Nightmare Oathbreaker from the reroll. Pretty clutch for
That's a
Escott.
nice reroll.
Gets saved on one. Lucio probably goes 3 on that.
Yeah, and there's question marks coming out already from Shay and XGod, so I think they've already spotted this is Fiesta.
Yeah, I think they know that it's a possibility. And let's see how they play. I don't think Disciple isn't what you want, but Cash Out is really annoying in that Jay's already 5 workers.
Yeah.
So he does have the ability to send quite a bit, either on 2 or 3. And 2 is the biggest mind game with Cat, because if you stack the Cat with the splits, then you just hold. But if you don't stack the Cat and get a snail, you are just leaking like 70-80% or something.
And what is she doing? She's actually selling. She's selling the Bone Warrior, staying on 2 stacks and pushing a worker. Now that's not
That is
a line that
respectable.
either of us really thought about.
Okay. Well, she's gonna leak the notes, and
she's
like,
gonna leak, yeah.
that's bold. I like it.
Wow.
And it pays off. Great risk.
Yeah, and it does mean that she'll be able to get an 80 send out against XGod on wave 3.
XGod is not gonna do so well against either a Dino or just Brute Snail. Brute Snail is probably the best because if the Oathbreaker dies really fast, then it can lead to some horrible stuff because the Nightmare is then 3-tapping the wave all the time.
What a beautiful Fiesta there from Lucy.
Yeah. And the Cat means you're just safe-ish on 3. Like, a lot of Cat builds already go 6 workers on 3, so...
Yeah. And it is the Brute there. She didn't quite get the Dino before income, so I think the Brute's now clearly the best play in this situation.
Ooh, Sea Dragon. That would be better against Brute. Well, actually, I have no idea. I could be lying. Well, the Cat is definitely not going to be good.
Oh, yes.
Or, okay. Not good for the Oathbreaker.
This is just going to leak really badly for XGod.
Yeah, it's tough. They do save their Mythium, though, so they're looking for a counterpunch on 4, perhaps.
60 into Shay's lane as well, so he has to hold this now to stop the team from taking big king damage.
Aggro looks horrible.
Yeah.
This Disciple didn't pick up that much. And the Lizard kills the Disciple pretty fast. Oh, this is going to be, I think, a visit to the king.
Big leak. 72% on XGod and Shay. Shay! Yeah. He leaks. Okay, ooh. King damage.
Yeah. Little revenge. Lucy taking out XGod. Yeah, this is going to be a lot of gold and should make the Mythium save not that valuable. Because you can just hold. Extra
already 70% HP left on the Butter Boys King.
They are committing so hard. 7 workers is so greedy from both of them, but yeah. I don't mind it.
They're going to have
looking for something special.
But look at this. Drakir's shifting gold. So even though he's got 100 Mythiums staring down the barrels of XGod's gun, he's not scared. He's shifting his gold. He's going to get that Orchid on wave 5. Oh no! He stacks the Cat at the last second.
Yeah, it's understandable if he gets a Dino, Snail, something like that. Could be in trouble. Lucy is dead on 5.
Yeah, Lucy's.
Yeah. She built the Archer. Yeah, there's nothing she can do. She can sell the Archer for maybe like 2 Mudmans.
She can send and then harden a Mudman.
God, everyone try hard sending.
She had to sell the Bone Warrior to do that as well.
No split Archer is not the best on 5.
No, it really
isn't. I think it's probably a home run here, if I had to guess. Like, she should, I think, just gamble and try and put the Mudman in the split and get lucky enough to kill the boss fast, but it's a tough situation to be in.
Drakir is overvalued, though. He's plus 18 with 2 fully boosted Orchids. I think Drakir might do okay.
I think the Scorpion King is dead. That much I know.
Drakir's Scorpion King is almost immediately evaporated, yes.
Wow, Lucy's actually going to kill the Scorpion King. That's a bullet. That's better than expected already.
Okay.
the mole isn't the best with into the hardened golem, so that's really nice for Lucy.
Oh, but she's not
Obviously,
going to
Shay
kill
can't.
anything else at this point. That's a
Yeah.
78% leak on her, but Drakeer's just fully holding. And X-God does
And,
leak himself to the
oh,
resend, same with Shay.
okay. I think
So,
Lucy and Drakir are happy. Look, he's got his whole
yeah,
board left to cover this.
yeah, Drakeer's nearly going to full cover. And meanwhile, X-God and
And
Shay, their king's taking even more damage. Remember, they went down to 70% already wave 3, and now wave 5, they're down to 50. So this chip damage keeps on coming.
game looks very familiar, but
But in
the
reverse,
roles have
right?
been reversed. Yeah. Oh, another brute.
Oh, they are not letting the
Relentless.
pressure up for a second. Drakir and Lucy, they have the advantage and they're just pressing it home.
Oh, I wonder if they're gonna catch Shay shifting for. Okay, I lied. Well, I think they'll be fine. Disciple with this much value and a steed, like it should just do enough damage.
I don't know. The rest of Shay's units, like the Disciples is one unit on this wave, basically. The Wanderers are garbage. His rats, like they're okay, but they're only 10 gold rats, so.
Yeah, let's see. Disciple is tanking, so that is always good.
Oh, that's true. The Disciple using its Swift HP is very, very solid. And it stays alive, so if that's now on 30%, not taking any more damage, that will be a hold here from Shay.
Oh, X-God focusing the brute and making it.
Leaking small,
Tough.
but that's okay. And yeah, Shay just barely holding there, but that's all he needed to do just to make sure that they don't take too much king damage here. Even getting another
we have
spell
the
off.
initiative.
Yeah.
What do they want to do with their myth? 9 looks reasonable, but the thing is, like, both Drakir and Lucy have very balanced builds. Like 9 is best, looking at their board so far, but it's not like they don't have answers.
Yeah, like we have the Samurai Soul for Drakir. He can upgrade an Orchid and boost it and just shred wave 9. And Lucy, of course, we already see the Mudman.
Yeah, I predict that, okay, we're gonna see a skip here. Drakir's gonna go for his Orchid, Lucy's gonna put another Mudman here. I think they understand that if there's a skip, it's not gonna be 8.
Yeah. So
This board from Lucy is giving me a little anxiety, though. It's like double archer, no split.
yeah, maybe she knows something that we don't.
Well, I do like to see X-God playing pretty risky with his value. 595 is
Yeah.
troublesome, to say the least.
If he did get a full send here, he would have leaked really badly. He only got a snail, so of course he can hold. Ogre's
Okay,
on 8. I think
Sell for Orchid, probably, is Drakir's best bet.
he needed to send if he wanted an Orchid. Now he has to sell the Proton.
Oh boy. I think the mind game of going 8 here is gonna work, I think.
Because Lucy's building for wave 9 with the Mudman. She won't harden. We do get the sell for Drakir, so he does at least get that Orchid out. But I think the team's going to take some pretty big damage here.
No harden either. This ogre is gonna shred.
Destroying Ogre Smash.
Good fire archer tanking. Maybe this ogre is killable.
Drakir does kill his ogre pretty quickly with that Orchid upgrade. And Lucy kills hers too, but she's just not killing anything else is the problem.
Yeah.
84%.
It worked out that the wave wasn't in range of her archers. They're actually worse focus firing.
Yeah.
And
Drakir leaks too, but that could have been worse. That could have been worse.
Yeah. And the thing is, they did save, so it's not the end of the world. They had the read that it was 9, and they did reasonably with that information.
Yeah, for sure. And I think this should even up the king damage as well, so both teams are going to be below 50%, I think. No, of course, it's just above.
The ogre returns.
Huh? Alright, how are Shay and X-God positioned to deal with the big wave 9 send? Avenger is very solid, and we are going to have an upgraded Samurai Soul for Shay, but the Ogre's going to rip that to shreds.
Yeah, it's tough because you don't want the Ogre to focus it, but you also need it to die, which is not going to do if the Ogre doesn't focus it, so you can't really go for this one either. They're both close to value. It should be fine for them.
I think X-God's going to do pretty well with his Avenger and his Oathbreakers.
Yep.
I think Shay, although Shay's really high value,
Yeah.
so even though his units aren't the best, he might just do okay.
I think the Samurai Soul's gonna come back and do some
It,
insane damage.
it is, but the
The
Ogre's
wave
back
is
on it now, so
melting.
it dies pretty quickly, actually.
Looks like an Ogre League and maybe a couple
Uh,
small guys, and then over here
Meanwhile,
it's a
X-God's just
full
holding.
hold?
He's just holding, yeah. The Sea Dragon Avenger combo, just very, very strong damage on 9. Able to keep it alive, get its spell damage off.
Yeah, it's a tough situation because usually you don't want to send right after the opponents send and get a lot of gold, but there's
Exactly.
no real weak wave until 11, I guess, would have been the best,
Yeah.
but like even there, Shay's pretty good.
And remember,
So it
this
looks like
this
a
game doesn't have that like big aggressive spell that we saw in game number 1 with the all-out assault. Like, sure, there's a counter
Mhm.
attack, but that's already half of the Mythium value of an all-out assault, right? So there's no
Yep,
clear line to just go straight 11 with a 500 Mythium send.
for sure. And here and Lucy's builds are doing a reasonable job of covering each other. Drakir is really strong on 13, and Lucy is really good on 12.
Yeah. Now
Ooh,
they
they're
do
going for
go for
some
some
king ups.
king upgrades. They're starting to feel a bit under pressure.
It's reasonable considering how insanely strong 10 is on the king. They don't actually want to just die randomly.
Yeah, exactly.
Because there could have been, I think, like 200, 180 cents, which is more than enough, to be honest, to leak these builds.
Yeah, yeah. We have easy holds all around. Obviously, with no send. Hexcord, though, it does look like he probably could have been leaked pretty easily with just an income center.
Yeah. Ooh, everyone holding on. I'm
Oh.
assuming we're going to see saviors.
Yeah,
Maybe last second saviors.
both teams can get really good save value here when their kings are so low already.
Yeah, I mean, Lucy's value is dangerously low.
Yeah, she's definitely taking savior. They're just waiting until the last second to not give away any information.
Yep.
Yeah, there
Oh,
we
here
go.
it comes.
Double savior, king back up to 83% HP, and I think they probably maxed their king spell as well.
That would be reasonable. Shay also healing up the king. Wonder if X God also wants to heal his king. Yep.
Yeah. 4 saviors, okay. Pretty passive game then. Although
Yeah,
having said that, we do have north of 300 Mythium on both Shay and
oh,
X-God.
double hardened boosted infiltrator. I don't hate sending 12 into this. Like
Yeah.
it's reasonable to leak Archer with this much Mythium.
Like, Drakia never gets his Haven out, right? Unless he has to sell a lot of stuff.
Yeah, they could also just go 13. Like that's the easiest line, I think.
And it
Shay is
looks like
so
that's what
good
they're
on
going for.
12, like it doesn't matter. Ooh, he goes for a surprise death cap, anticipating a 12 undercut.
Hmm.
It's not gonna happen, but
No.
it's not bad on 13 as a
As a
natural tank
tank,
either.
yeah. It's a decent
Yeah,
natural tank. It's got a lot of HP. How much is that? It's 4,000 natural hit points. And that can just keep the Sovereign alive a bit
never
longer, but he
mind.
changes his mind.
Oh,
Oh,
he can't make up his mind.
X-God's APM, by the way, putting boomers like me to shame.
Yeah, absolute god. Full builds from everyone. Shay starting his rat colony. Very good on 13.
All right, here come the
Okay, here
sends
come
for
the
wave
sends. 4
13.
eyes.
Four
Yep.
eyes out of Lucy. Looking pretty
Has to
solid against
be
X-God's board.
probably Drakir needs to send something like a little bit of spam or just like,
Witches are looking pretty good against Shay's board, right? He's already got a lot of rat spam.
yeah, imps, I guess? Probably what I'd go for. Yeah, he does go imps.
Let's go in.
Imps like good tank against the disciples, and they do reasonably against the units Shay has.
Oh no! Lucy is 3 gold short of that Phoenix here.
Yeah, I
She,
think
she
Drakir's
actually
selling
is
it for stuff
forced to
though.
sell the Trinity Archer. That's kind of devastating. Like, it's
It's
obviously the
rough.
right call. She has to do it, but it
Yeah,
hurts.
I will say this Phoenix isn't necessarily gonna save her as well. Like, it's a Phoenix on 13. Don't get me wrong. There's no double
Yeah.
4-eye, but It's not going to be a full hold, I think. Could be wrong. This unit is pretty good.
Yeah. The Sens are massive. But the Sens coming out from Drakir and Lucy are not too small either, by the way. 340 for Shay, 400 for X-God. I think we're going to see all 4 players leaking.
Yeah, someone is going down here, I think.
Yeah.
Lucy doing reasonably, half the waves down. Oh my god.
The Phoenix is doing very, very well there. She is going to leak, however. Drakir, how are you doing? That's a pretty big leak for him. Shay, X-God, both leaking as well.
God, everyone just thinks.
Okay, well, there's 7 creeps on both sides. There's 8 eyes on the king on the left side, only 4 eyes on the right. But the left side have more king attack upgrades as well.
Yeah. Well, or did we just hype this up and no one's gonna die?
I think no one's gonna die, but both teams going very, very low. We're in critical HP range already.
Yeah, they're gonna be glad they did Savior, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, yeah. I think Drakir and Lucy pretty happy about those king attacks they did on wave 10 as well, by the way.
Drakir's pushing, Lucy's building. Yeah, Drakir knows that the base board is insane compared to Exod. And Exod realizes his board sucks too, he's pushing.
Okay, but this is bad though. So now Exod is suiciding into the Suicider, which gives a big advantage for Team Drakir and Lucy.
Yeah. We'll see. Shay's gonna have to pull some magic out.
Yeah.
His build is insane on, like, 15. He doesn't have natural tanks. He only has fortified, and the steeds are insane with the Star College Circle.
Yeah, he can just spam Pegasus, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he is not the best. Bunk isn't amazing, but, like, Rat Spam is fine. The Samurai Souls are fine delay.
Yeah.
Okay, Witch, I like that. Witch and Spam is probably the sense, I would imagine.
And Drakir continues pushing, by the way, so he's committing to the full suicide.
They both are, actually. Okay, Shaman and income. Does Lucy... I mean, it doesn't really matter what she sends. She might just go for Shaman for king damage. Yeah, I like that. Ooh, Drakir even pro leagues. Technically favoring X-God since he has one more worker, but...
Well, it favors him, but the suicide lineup is bad for X-God and Shay, and I think X-God sees that now, but does he continue pushing anyway?
Looks like he stopped pushing.
Okay.
Oh, I lied. I think he's pushing.
He's still pushing.
I think he just can't come back from that.
Yeah, like he already
suicided. He's going for king ups, I guess.
King ups are not saving them at this stage. They're on 9% king HP.
Yeah, this region is not gonna be the answer. Okay, cat spam, love that.
Yeah. I think Drakir and Lucy are gonna take
Okay, nice.
this.
Protects the Phoenix from random bullshit. You don't need the Phoenix to be a god, you just need him to be good enough.
The witches are so good actually against Shay's lane. Look at all these rats. Witch. Just so much mana for the Froggos.
Yeah, good read, but see how it pans out.
Lucy's Phoenix, look at that. Almost perfectly off-tanking.
On the boss now.
Lucy just clears easily. X-God and Drakir obviously leaking everything with their suicide play, and Shay is leaking too. Drakir and Lucy, they even the score here in game number 2.
GG's. Really nice. Good suicide read. Great early game. Lots of back and forth this game.
Yeah, this was really
the wave 13, those king ups ended up saving them, the ones they did on 10.
Absolutely. So yeah. Let's just have a quick look at that starve from Shay and X-God, because it was 13 all the way from wave 8. So we got those ogres on 8, which did a ton of damage against the king, bringing it down to 52%, and then they just go straight wave 13. And like you say, those king ups on 10 from Drakir and Lucy ended up saving them on 13, because without those 7 king attack upgrades, they're definitely dead here on 13. Like, without a doubt.
Great shift by Lucy for the Phoenix. Both of them just making the hard read.
And really good call for her, by the way. Like, she has to sell the Elite Archer to get that Phoenix out. And it is painful to do that because that's a 145 gold unit. You don't have Pawn Shop. But she knows that she has to do that to have any chance of killing units on wave 13. So she does. She leaks small. It keeps them in the game. And they're able to close it out on wave 15 with that double suicide with Drakir and X-God giving the benefit to Drakir and Lucy, let's say.
Yeah, pretty insane game. pretty like the Fiesta did make that early game a lot more interesting. I'll say
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. Great
And
call
I
from you, by the way. Like, you read these guys. You knew what they were going to do before they did it.
thank you. I'm honestly curious if they'll just swap it. They'll play Fiesta again with the
Fiesta on
this.
Drakir? Does Drakir even play Fiesta?
Yeah, I mean his Smurf account is basically Fiesta only.
Okay, okay. We don't use the S word on stream, by the way.
Yeah, sorry. The secondary mystery account
The mystery account.
that may or may not be his.
All right. So, I mean, yeah, like we said coming into it, 50-50 down the middle. Then we saw the Butter Boys dominating game one. We saw a much closer game two, which does go in favour of Drakir and Lucy. And now it's all down to the wire. I just really cannot call which way this is going to go in game number 3.
And it's all been based off these like small early game interactions that are leading to like this save on one is just creating so much opportunities.
Yeah. One thing's for sure, like it's gonna be an exciting match. Like these guys are pretty high octane gameplay right now.
Okay, greed from Lucy, greed from Drakir. No funny business. They're here to just try and finish it out with their simple gameplay. Hey, cash out. Ooh, Shay has like a potential for a little 6-worker Windhawk Aqua opener if he wants.
Yeah.
Wonder what
You could also do a
thinking.
Sakura opener, Ofma. What do you think about Sakura opener?
Yeah, it's pretty juicy if you have a 7 answer, which he does, but there's no 10 answer. Ah, he's Zerker actually. Like, it's not the worst thing imaginable. I just don't like it. Ooh, redraw.
I
Okay,
actually
X-Got.
quite like the specifically with cash outs, the Sakura opener I think is okay because it allows you to push that 4th worker.
Yeah, it does smooth out your early game for sure. God has a odd role. He can play like Gate Guard, Speed, Consort, Casket type stuff, and then transition into
really nice role.
Transition into like Boar Halo as his late game.
Yeah. Or Phoenix
that's
as
reasonable.
well. Phoenix is a pretty solid option, especially with Steed. Just make it invincible. Shay's going for an egg.
Egg.
I
my god.
do not
egg.
like a cash out egg build. I am not a fan
egg
of this.
into Lucy is it's a risky bit. Oh well, she gets bailed out. It's Pyro, can't push.
No. And more to the point, she's pushing 6 workers anyway. Like it doesn't matter if he's an egg build or not. She's already going 6 workers with that Pyro.
It's nice. I wonder if Shay does something like greedy with his like egg.
He's going 3 workers, which I guess you can only do because of the cash out.
Yep. And X-Got went Gate Guard Angler, okay. Didn't want the long wave, that's smart.
Drakir's just going to push 6 workers with his flower though, right? Like as soon as wave 2 starts, he's going to go to 6, maybe even 7 workers to try and break this egg on wave 3.
Okay. If you're building both atoms, it leaks to Snail with 1 atom, but to be honest, could go for it. There's actually secret god position right here. You double block build it, you can hold the Snail with some degree of consistency, but your build later is so cursed.
Oh, Shay gets a king up here as well. He's got a free egg.
Ooh.
He's absolutely loving that king up.
Is he king upping and then just DT him after income?
Maybe, right? But I think if Shay stays 3 workers, he can easily hold a DT send.
Yeah, like I don't think it'd only work against greed.
And he does stay 3 workers.
I've seen some people try some things with seedlings and the egg to try and hold with like 4 workers, but double aqua, that's the easy way to get it done.
Yeah. What do you think about this aqua positioning though, by the way? I think it should be further back. He's
agreed.
Yeah. He just wants to keep that aura slot open for an Ocean Templar in the late game.
Yeah, for one, yeah. Like I imagine he wants like Cascade Ocean Templar or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. And X-God also stayed 4 workers, by the way, only receiving a snail and a king up.
By the way, Shay went 4 workers,
he
just
did.
the aqua, and he gets bailed, quote unquote bailed out. But
yeah, I feel like a single aqua probably would have broken an egg versus a DT, right?
Yeah, I think so.
And looking how low that got with no send, I think a DT would almost certainly have broken the egg.
That aggression is gonna pay off a little bit. Getting like your income started earlier with Hydra is always important, but it looks like Drakir is just racing the other builds. Like this build has 0 workers forever,
Yeah.
so they have 3 worker advantage already. So if they can start snowballing this income, then they're in a really good spot.
Yeah. And the income is much higher, like 29-29 for Drakir and Lucy, 24-21 for Shay and Xcod. So Lucy and Drakir currently both looking very vulnerable on wave 6 and wave 8. So that's definitely a line that Shay and Xcod could work towards if they want to. Like Ghost Knight on 8, these guys are just dead. Like Lucy has got a halo, but obviously Shay and Xcod don't know about that.
Yeah, Ghost Knight 8 is the classic versus Pyro for sure.
Yeah. Versus AoE in general, and Drakir has double flower. So, and double flower and now gate guard. Like, if I look at Drakir's lane, wave 8 just looks like a dream to me.
For sure, for sure. And Lucy is gonna build the Halo, I would imagine, because she went 9 workers and not 8.
Yes.
So, like, it's gettable on the 6. Probably not gonna happen looking at the Mythium counts.
And Xgod shifts 100 gold here. He's going for that wave 6 Kingpin.
Good call to just keep Income King this build. Like,
yeah.
It's probably the most annoying thing. It's like, oh, like, you want the long save to happen, but you just get Income King, you can't really push. Like, that's ideal.
He did push 1 worker into this DT send.
Absolute madman.
What a madman, yeah, exactly.
I don't think he needed to play this passively, but it's respectable. He's getting a high stake Kingpin out as fast as possible.
Yeah, and then he can push his workers out, right?
Long ways.
Does he even leak here?
Oh my god.
Uh-oh.
The DT was just too much, and oh my god, that is 120 myth on draft.
Yeah, now obviously this is a tiny leak, which is kind of inconsequential for Xgod. The thing that might actually matter, though, is the fact that he's on 5 workers, and these waves are really long. So Drakir and Lucy, with their pretty solid worker advantage, making good use of those long waves.
Lucy's having a game.
Lucy's having a
Trading
game.
so hard.
We do have this.
No answer for now. 6. She just doesn't care.
I mean, she's receiving 2 lizards and a snail. I think she's going to do okay.
Yeah, I mean, she's going to leak, but for being 9 workers Pyro, it's probably not the end of the world.
Xgod was forced to send his Fiend here into Drakir, which now means Drakir does have much, much less pressure on that wave 8 where he's looking super weak.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's have a quick look at Lucy.
It'll let him to pre-build for 8 already, which is really nice. And Lucy is going to kill 1 more, maybe? The gods are good?
He kills 1 more.
Yeah.
She's completely happy with this. She has 11 workers now.
And Drakir is enabling. Look, he's saved up 180. Like,
yeah. Shay's under pressure. We talked about Ghost Knights on 8, but maybe we talked about the wrong team sending it. Okay, no, he goes here. He goes here.
Not that filthy yet.
Not that disgusting. So Shay, you have 200 gold. What do you want to spend it on? A casket is a good choice, I think.
Yep. Protecting it underneath the Hydra as well. It's like, normally you're like, oh, it's an arcane tick, but actually it does insane damage on 7. So yeah, it's important to keep it alive.
I mean, Shay's on value. He's minus 15. Xgod's plus 96, of course, with his Kingpin.
Problem is this mole literally makes all of these units do no damage. Like, his Hydra might actually be his best damage this wave.
Yeah, I think you're not wrong.
And the Aquas aren't tanking, which is tough. Like, maybe if you put one of the Aquas here to drag some of the wave into the Fire Aqua would be good, but like you said, he's on value. Doesn't have to necessarily be perfect. Or does he?
Is he getting another spell out? He's not, it dies. I mean, value is strong, right? 885 value, wave 7. Turns out it's
never
just
killing the mole, never killing the brute, but
he's happy with this. Like, imagine a wave 8 send here from Drakir, the Ghost Knight.
Yep. I mean, Lucy also has a lot of Mythium now. Probably just goes for income. I don't think you're leaking Kingpin.
She saves?
Or everyone saves. Okay, sure. Oh, she had the deploy already.
You didn't need the income, yeah.
So what do Shay and X God want? Wave 10, I guess? They haven't seen the Daphne yet, so
Yeah, I mean, Lucy didn't show the coiler either, so she's looking very vulnerable on wave 10 until now.
mhm.
But even with the coiler, honestly, like, wave 10 is scary for Lucy and Drakir.
No tanks for Lucy so far. Like Gate is her only tank. I mean Devilfish you could is a
Yeah,
but yeah,
Devilfish, sure.
I think wave 10 might be the call for both teams. Like X-God is leakable on 9, but with the Harb and the Kingpin and the Wanderer, like he should be
Yeah,
just fine.
he's very strong on mine. Oh,
Oh,
okay. We spoke too soon. There's the sense. Triple Brute from Lucy, Mole from Drakir, and Shay and X-Cord do save. This is very, very important now, this send. We need to get big damage on Shay and X-God, otherwise Lucy and Drakir are just dead on wave 10.
X-God did some bad math. I think you should just sell this angler. You just need to get the Harb out. Oh, he's feeling confident. Oh, he's feeling really confident.
Okay, the confidence might come back to bite him.
No ogre, at least. That's usually the big killer for a Kingpin, but the brutes can be rough too.
Yeah, we do have that
Especially
gate
when there
on
are 4
Shay.
of them.
Like Shay's on 1115 value with gate and
Okay,
fully
fair
stacked Hydra. He's just fine here. It's only a mole and a snail that he gets. Let's go have a look at X-God. The Kingpin is completely slowed down by the Brute. This will be a pretty big leak for X-God.
Trying his best.
81%, trying his best, but it's just not good enough. Shay does fully hold, of course, with his Hydra and with his Gate. He'll be able to clear up a little bit in the mid. And yeah, their Mythium totals are looking scary now for Drakir and Lucy.
Ghost Knight comes to mind.
Yeah, Ghost Knight looks pretty juicy. Lucy
thing
does
is
have
with
Halo, she hasn't shown it yet.
Venture in the game, it's like saving Mythium till this point is really good because you're probably getting like income kings on 11, so you can still venture.
And they save. They do save.
We'll see.
So let's say that Drakir just builds like another Daphne or so here. Oh, he knows. He knows. How does he know?
How does he
not
know?
build for 10?
There's venture in the game. You can't send on 10.
How does he not send on 10?
Wow, that is crazy reads.
Oh man, what a god gamer! This is what separates a player like Drakir from a player like me. I would definitely have built Daphne's here.
They're both building for 11.
They're both building for 11. They would have been so dead
Criminals.
against Ghost Knight sends here.
Absolute criminal. Well, they can't venture, I'll tell you that. They're gonna need that 105 gold.
I don't want to distract from this game, but I just had news in from the chat that King Dans and Widdowson won 2-0 against Bonnie and Basti. So it will be the winner of this series playing against Team Abrasiat in the grand finals.
Okay, well, there's 2 Rams in each lane, so that's never fun.
That when you see 2 Rams, you might have a good idea which of the teams is going to end up in the in the grand finals.
Hey, GA, Harbinger's probably the best value this wave.
We do get the Haven for Lucy.
How to kill a Ram?
Yeah, that's pretty difficult. We do have Guardian Angel on the Harbinger and Guardian Angel on the Banana Bunk.
Really? Shay goes for GA, okay. No venture.
Alright, sorry. I had a little audio issue there, but it's fixed now.
Yeah, the Coiler is gonna net some kills, at least, through the Ram. Good call to do the Seraphim as well.
I do like the Guardian Angel on the Haven as well, giving her a big tank. The Ram does go down, and Drakir's Flower is doing damage to the wave.
Lucy? Are you just...
Lucy? Lucy!
425 under, by the way. 425
under, leaking 42%.
What?
that's just unreal to me. She has 1680 value. She just received a 420 Mythium send.
I literally cannot believe what I just saw. That was insane, and wow, and that really opens up wave 14 for them. Like,
absolutely.
now, without taking this much king damage, they're not as scared on 13.
And XGod even managed to leak himself. Like, there's still a big worker lead for Shay and XGod, but the value is so much higher now for Drakir and Lucy.
Yeah, Drakir is obviously in the worst spot, but Lucy is in prime position to just take over.
Yeah.
And given that the Suicide Order is also bad for Shay and XGod again, like, Drakir and XGod are the ones who are suffering.
Yeah. I have to say as well,
here.
like, I think the send was a bit bad against Lucy because it was a ram, and then we had 2 dragon turtles and a snail. Like,
yeah,
just send a hermit.
Yeah, agreed.
Because the Haven did so much reflect damage there.
Yeah. The other option is to opt for a send to kill the Haven. But, I mean, I don't mind Ram. It's like a huge tank that
No,
takes
the
forever
ram
to
was
kill.
fantastic. It just needed something like a hermit to reduce that reflect damage, I think, against the wave.
Yeah. Okay. Shay is just full building for 14. I like that. Good read. I mean, his build is insane on 14.
Yeah, he has the casket with the Ocean Templar, and the gates themselves are not... I mean, they're obviously weak on 14, but the fact that the Templar is there makes them kind of not completely useless.
It's like pseudo-spam, basically.
Yeah.
And they do reasonable damage, like the melee spawns.
Yeah. And XGod and Shay, they do still have the Mythium lead there, but not by much.
Yeah, Drakir is the one on low workers, but in return for his low workers, obviously closer to value.
Yeah.
And it's not like his board is horrible, unfortunately. He has red eyes. His damage sources are lacking, but you ever feel confident enough to just skip here?
And go straight 15?
Yeah, like, these boards are reasonable.
GA
is a lot of value on the Haven.
GA is really high value, yeah. Agreed. No one's sending anything yet.
Looks like 15 is the call.
Like 15? And it's going to be a race, right?
I don't see... I don't foresee anyone holding.
I can't see any of the 4 players holding on wave 15.
Oh, okay. Lucy prepping Devilfish for, like, Seraphins on 15 as a magic damage source. I kind of like that.
Yeah.
And, okay, Drakir is just... he's doomed.
I feel like Drakir could just push already, but maybe he will as soon as the wave starts. Maybe he's just thinking, we're not sending 14, so I'll build here, and maybe my leak won't be too bad and Lucy can cover, and then I'll suicide push into the 15 send.
Yeah.
We'll have to
the
see.
other option is they think they can live. That's another reason why you wouldn't suicide, is if you think you can hold, then fair.
But I don't see anybody holding. Like, none of the 4 players are holding wave 15, I'm pretty sure.
The thing is, I think Shay's build might be the best. Like,
Yeah, with
gates
the
little gates are insane on 15, and the Aquas are also really good. Like, he needs, like, I don't know, a rogue wave and then just full Aquas, and he might be able to do something.
And he just has so much arcane hit points as well with like triple Iron Maiden on the Ocean Templar aura.
PK is a great send into that, though.
Yeah.
Delay keeps the stuff off the wave. Gates are, you know, not the fastest at killing on GK, and the Iron Maidens don't ping on the wave.
Here is going for the good old Pee-wee spam, just trying to delay as long as possible. Lucy adding 2 Polywogs for the insane single target magic damage, but she actually adds a gate here as well.
Yeah, the gate is not unreasonable, because with the Daphnes it does some magic damage, and she's basically lacking damage. Like, her front line is crazy.
Yeah.
Double Iron Maiden, Cage of Pain. It's not the worst idea. I would like to see Seraphins, though. I don't think Devilfish are better when you have such good tank value.
The sends into Drakir and Lucy are slightly bigger, but they also have the most value. So I just don't know. I can't call this race.
Yeah, I mean, XGod is dead, but that's not really a question, I think. But Shay looks like he's doing pretty reasonably.
Shay, how are you? Yeah, his arcane tank stalling forever as we expected. XGod leaks the whole wave, of course, 105% there. Shay, are you even just holding? Lucy and Drakir, they both leak, and I think this is enough to kill them. Yeah,
I think so, yeah.
Shay's not holding, but he's just stalling forever.
Yeah, it's just really hard to break Shay's build quickly.
Oh, Lucy and Drakir, they're just dead here. Shay and X-God advance to the grand finals of the September Nova Cup. Well played, Butter Boys. You deserve it.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
I've got to go back to this wave 10, though. I have to go back to this wave 10. Shay and X-God had, what, 300 Mythium each already that they could send on wave 10? And Drakir and Lucy, they just, both of them, full build against wave 11 instead. They would have been destroyed, absolutely destroyed by Ghost Knights on 10.
Yep.
They may even have just lost the game straight up on wave 10 to double Ghost Knight. But they call it correctly, both of them adding Bunk and Boar, knowing it's an 11 send from Shay and X-God. And that means that even though the sends are enormous there, Lucy leaking very, very small, and that keeps them in the game a little bit longer. Ultimately, the Butter Boys still end up winning the game there on wave 15, but fantastic calls there from Drakir and Lucy, building for wave 11, not quite giving up too early.
Yeah. And I think it was just Drakir was in a horrible spot where you can't be 100% sure they're going 15. So, like, you need to build to not die when you want 15, but then the problem is he's so low workers from the early game that he couldn't break Shay fast enough on 15.
Yeah. And like you say, Shay just had the best build on 15, right? Like
the whole game was he might as well have been building for it the whole game with his setup.
Yeah. He has 4 Iron Maidens.
4 Iron Maidens.
3 of them with the Ocean Templar aura, and 1 of them with Guardian Angel as well. Like, he's just got 9 billion arcane hit points in his lane, and that enables him to stall forever.
You can leak that maybe with a very you probably need something Mythium? Something like that would actually leak it at a reasonable speed.
Yeah. But barring like an enormous send, Shay was always going to hold the longest here, I feel.
Yeah, completely agree.
Anyway, Butter Boys, they do make it through to the grand finals. I think we probably need to give our teams a bit of a breather after that one, and then we'll be able to get into...
for 5 minutes.
He's asking for 5 minutes. I think we can probably give him 10. I think we can probably give him 10 after that one. What do you think?
I think so. He deserved it. He's earned it.
And I think Ofma and myself could probably do with a bit of a breather as well.
Indeed. Those were some intense games.
Absolutely. Like, I've been on the edge of my seat this whole time. It's been really, really hectic gameplay from these 2 teams. It was just so close, and insane plays by those guys. But yeah, very well played, X-God and Shay. We look forward to seeing them in the grand finals in around 10 minutes time. Ofma, I will see you back here. Do you mind whispering the players and just say, like, at 10 past the hour we'll play the grand finals? Meanwhile, I will give a bit of a blurb for the skin design competition. So, guys, if any of you have seen haven't seen the skin design competition just yet, there is a pretty cool Legion skin design competition underway this month. So, for all of you artists in the community, if you can submit your creative ideas on reddit.com/legiontd2, come up with an interesting theme for your favorite unit, give it a new design. It does have to be able to fit on the existing model, but feel free to paint it however you wish. There's a few rules there on screen which you can read, so nothing too offensive, obviously. But other than that, it's all about the community favourite. So the submission which receives the most votes on the subreddit is going to be the winner, and that winner will receive not only 10,000 premium essence, but the very, very cool prize of having their skin design actually built into the game by Auto Attack Games. That will be a fully fledged skin available for purchase for the entire community, and I just think that's a really cool thing to bring into the game. So guys, make sure you get your entries in on the Legion subreddit. If you want an example of how the submissions should look, here's one I prepared earlier. This is my red balloon chain fist. Obviously, as a clown, you have to go for the balloons. It's kind of our thing. I've given a little bit of a blurb here about how I see the skin working in the game with a big pop when the thing dies. And yeah, make sure you get your entries in. I'm sure there's someone out there who can come up with an even better idea than me. Get your entries in. I will leave the rules up on screen here. And now that I've done a bit more talking, it looks like the next game should be starting in closer to 5 minutes rather than 10. So I will just pop something up on screen here. And I will be right back, guys. So make sure you don't go anywhere. Grand finals coming right up.
Be right back.
Alright, guys, I think we've got a game coming up pretty soon. Ofma, how are you?
Doing good. I'm refreshed.
Refreshed, lovely. Hopefully, you've got yourself a nice drink, maybe a snack, because we might be in for some starving in this grand finals. What do you think?
I think so. I think so. Shay and XCOD have definitely shown how they're trying to play these mid games,
Yeah.
so we're in for a bit of a treat, I think, because King and Witter, pretty smart guys. They're gonna
They're
come up with some stuff of their own.
they're not too bad at the game, right? King Dans and Widdowson. I think they're okay.
Yeah, not too shabby.
Not too shabby. And they have actually won Nova Cup the last 2 months in a row, right? So can they make it three? What do you think?
It's definitely doable. They've got the skills, but XCOD and Shay did take him out, so
Yeah,
it's doable for them.
it's definitely doable. Like if anyone can do it for sure, it's XCOD and Shay. They've done it in the past and they can do it again. But this is just going to be such a hard finals. I don't even know who I'm cheering for. Never mind who I think is going to win.
Yeah, cheering for some good, interesting Legion. That's what we're cheering.
Absolutely, yeah. I think if XGod wins this one, it means he's the player who's won the most Nova Cups this year. I'm not entirely sure on that one. I'd have to double check, but I think that might be the difference maker now.
I think that would be 4 for him, right?
Yeah, 4 out of 8. So it's probably a case of whichever team wins is going to be the one with the most victories.
Yeah, let's line it up that way.
Pretty exciting stuff. And these guys, you can see from their badges, they're all legend players. Not only that, XGod, the highest peak elo of all time ever in the world. Like, he's no slouch when it comes to Legion. But King Dans and Widdowson and Shay, of course, as well. All 4 of these players just legends of the game.
It's like the players are ready.
Players are ready. Casters are ready. All right, let's see if we can get a game underway. Once the game starts, I'll ask you to maybe introduce the roles and I can get the scoreboard up and running.
Good.
And we are underway. So Twitch chat, September Nova Cup Grand Finals is here. We're going to have Team Abrasiet on the left, that's King Dans and Widdowson, and they are against the Butter Boys on the right, that is Shay and XGod37. Let's go.
Let's get into it. Redraw right away from Witterson. Okay. And YOLO from King. Cash out from XGod. I imagine Shay's picking great. Let's see. Witterson already has some interesting options. He picks it really fast because he sees Magician and he thinks white main gates with gate guard to start.
Ooh.
And King needs to reroll, I think, because or well, not right away. He has double fish for 3 with his gun, but he needs some late game options that kill wave 13.
Yeah, I think his role is pretty solid for the first 8 waves of the game. So he doesn't need to reroll too quickly. Like, he can keep that extra +1 income in his YOLO roll without rerolling too soon. I think that's what he's going to do.
XGod has some interesting cash out options. He's probably going to play some sort of tier 3 mix units. Warg, Gate Guard, Infiltrator, Cats, Ask those sorts of things.
Yeah.
Witterson opts for the Rusher Angler, so he actually rerolled, well, he used 2 of his many rerolls to find something he likes.
I think Widdowson just wants to guarantee a strong opener, right? So, yeah, he gets redraw, which obviously gives him 4 rerolls. He spends a couple of those making sure he's got a very solid opener, and the Crusher Angler start is pretty good, by the way.
Yeah.
And then he's going to save his other 2 rolls for something a bit more late game.
XGod continuing to save on people with his 5 worker openers. See if he can catch King the same way he caught Rokir.
Problem is, there's pretty much no way to leak King Dans on wave 2. So I don't know if X-God's going to go all the way to 3, but even there, like you say, he does have the Devilfish.
Yeah, okay. Shay, we see like a pretty not like broken Poda roll, but pretty solid Poda Ranger.
Mhm.
And some decent tanks. So no mask, but you can't have it all every game.
You can't, not every game. To be honest, I've been loving the Pota Ranger lately. Like,
Yeah.
instead of the lower split with the mask, I just put the Ranger in a higher split, the Daphne down here, and you end up getting the same, like, Zamba effect that you get with the mask. You just
Right.
have to be more aware that things are going right instead of left. But it works
Yeah,
really
and
well.
the Ranger is solid, or the Daphne is really solid for killing rams, which is, usually what happens in
Yeah.
the late game. And it's already gives you an answer for 10, which is always important for Poda. Okay, so King opted to just stay 4 workers, build the buzz. I mean, he's respecting. Oh my god, Exos wins 6 workers with the Gatecard
Wow.
Cat.
Very nice. Not respecting Widdowson's Mythium at all.
And I think he's going to be right that Witter's not getting 60 on him, so.
Widdowson does save, though.
Ooh,
So
might
how
catch
is
up on
X-God looking
4.
on 4? Well, he gets the Infiltrator here. He will, of course, have the 5-stack Neko for wave 4, so maybe he's okay. But the send can be pretty big from Widdowson.
Yeah. Because this is going to be a long wave, I think. 80 onto King. He's thinking if he wants to shift this 20 gold. I don't hate it. Seems perfectly fine to do that.
Yeah, and he does.
Jay and X-God went to 6 workers, both of them. But they do have a little bit of the early game lead with King stuck on 4.
Yeah. He's got
Jeez,
just
the gun.
such good split tanking there between the Devilfish and the gun. This is perfect for him.
Yeah, it's really nice. Like, he's 4 workers, so he has the gold, but with cash out, you get similar gold amounts, and you can do like tier 3 plus tier 1,
Yeah.
and then the gun just perfectly split tanks the left, or whichever side your tier 3 is it on.
That was so good there for King Dens. Like, holding the 80 send from X-God. Yeah, he's really happy with that.
Look at this long wave. It's going to be Mr. Dyna showing up in X-God's lane.
How is he going to deal with this?
Right now, his cat is going to have a nice presence.
He doesn't even have enough gold to make it a 5-stack kitty. So he goes for the masks instead.
Mask. Or what's his... Changing the position of the mask?
Shay, meanwhile, has Consort and some more buzzes. He should be just fine. It's only 60 cents, so Shay, I'm pretty confident, is clearing. X-God, though, let's see what happens with this dino. Mask
His
tanks
mask
only
dies.
the dino.
It's bad. His mask looks like it is going to die. The
Yeah,
dino is
that's
just
his big
punching
source
it.
of damage, right? Mask goes
Yeah,
down.
and
He's going to leak decently.
Mr. Dino is refusing to die.
Does
He gets the
finally
second
go
summon
down.
out.
Yeah,
That's big. It saves him like an extra creeper too.
yeah. It's
That's not the
acceptable.
worst leak.
42% leak is totally fine for the 80 send there.
Harry Mode Shay, 8 workers. No
Very
fear. Love to
Priestess,
see
just
that.
such a strong early game unit.
Okay, income. Widdowson
Say.
playing very aggressively actually. 7 workers with bounty. Thief.
What's his answer going to be for wave 6? Is he shifting here for a kingpin? I think he is.
Ballsy considering that I'm pretty sure this leaks to like any send, but
It
we
absolutely leaks to
risked-
any send. But
I think
no
we
send?
saw X-God leak to no send, basically, with these
Yeah.
similar units.
okay,
Okay.
I mean, yeah, this might just leak to no send. His board is very weak.
And we have DPS. I guess he'll pick up the split maybe, so.
I think with the way it's split tanking like that, he might be just fine. Oh,
Let's see, how's the Crusher doing?
yeah, he's totally fine. Even if he ends up leaking there, it's only going to be 1 creep, so totally happy with that. Question is whether he
That's
affords
fine.
Kingpin, and with this leak from X-God, only against a 60 send, by the way. So that means
Yeah, caught him.
Widdowson's guaranteed his Kingpin now.
Yeah, I wonder if this makes Shay want to go 7 after seeing Shift, because you assume a Shift for Kingpin or an answer for Wave 6, which usually are bad on Wave 7.
Yeah.
And you can just brute spam a Kingpin to death on 7 quite easily.
Yeah.
Thing is, if he needs the gold, he needs the gold. Yeah, and he's just gonna income, which is completely fine. He's in a perfectly good spot.
I think he knows, right? Like, he knows that Widdowson is getting the kingpin there. He probably reads his value, see that he's super low value with a bounty hunter and the steed. Like, what else is happening apart from a kingpin in that case? But
And
yeah,
the recent is gonna be great for King as well because he didn't push that much to the. He wanted to go long on Shay, and now he's getting the resend, which will let him push really easily now.
yeah, push and probably shift on wave 7 if he wants to go for the Vulcan cannon on wave 8.
Shay opting for the Yuzora over the Daphne, which would be the other option here.
I think the Azor is definitely the right play there. Just getting the
Yeah.
extra tank value. But I do think the
Okay.
Daphne synergizes very well with the Priestess. Like obviously the debuff from the Daphne and the fact that the Priestess is a triple shot. Oh, a Mimic!
Yep, that one is pretty juicy into his area usually.
Yeah.
It's got some nice tier ones to snack on as well.
And
He needs to
unless...
go for Daphne. Alright, he could go like vet boost, but I think Daphne is just the safer play and it scales better. Like, okay, double vet, sure. But I think the Mimic he's lacking some damage on his board as well.
I think the
What I'm
Mimic's going
learning.
to absolutely rip him apart. And he's even going to get a Lizard to go with it as well. I think the
Yeah,
Mimic's going to cause some serious damage in Shay's lane.
what we need to see from Exod is at least a cover. Like, he's on value getting income send.
Let's get a gold counter on this bad boy. So we've got 6 gold so far. 9
Another
gold.
one. I think I'm going to be saying another one soon.
12 gold. 15 gold.
Literally almost ate every
missed.
unit. Oh,
It missed. What a noob, Mimic.
gotta work on that.
Yeah. X-God does hold his income send, but that's just 3
I'm
more
kinda-
gold for the Mimic mid, I'm pretty sure.
I'm kind of curious if this is two brutes and a snail. Is this like leaking as well?
Yeah, probably does, right? And then they get some pretty
Yeah, like-
serious king damage.
It's fine. Winter scaling now with this kingpin.
Yeah.
I don't mind just income.
And in terms of workers, Team Abrasiat are now 2 in the lead, with Widdowson being 12 against Shay's 10, X-God and Kingdans even on 11. But Kingdans has some pretty juicy income there.
Somehow this guy always sneaks ahead. Yeah,
Alright,
little income from King.
we do see the first Ranger played out by Shay. I think
And
at this
we
point you
didn't-
could almost just hide it and drop it on wave 10 as a Daphne.
Yeah, it would be a like pretty powerful mix-up, but I guess his gold was awkward.
Yeah.
King's free roll looking pretty juicy. We didn't mention it, but now he has a board to play with in the late game for sure.
Yeah, the Mudman very solid, covering some of the gun's waves there, and then of course he's got the Yazora and even the gates for waves like 13.
With Magician in the game, his build is looking pretty spicy. Like,
Yeah,
both King and Witter have better Magician builds, and okay, it's fair enough there's Villain, which is great for Shay as well.
hardened Mudman from Dan's, but the send is not coming here.
Yeah, I think they want 10 or 11. Probably 11 with PTA makes the most sense, but maybe with the Harden, it changes their plans.
I think if they see this harden here, going wave 10 just looks really appealing.
Is King getting his gun? It's close. I
You'd
would
have to
assume
sell
he
for
does.
it.
Yeah, he would have to definitely send and maybe pawn shop something. Yeah,
Like sell the devilfish or something like that.
can't sell the console. Okay, here come the sends. Mole is pretty reasonable. You don't really need that much myth to leak his area on 10 usually.
Yeah. Although with the double Daphne and consorts, I think Shay is actually not looking too bad. There is an Ogre coming out from Shay into Widdowson. X-God, Ogre Brute as well.
Ogre Brute, yeah, that's fair. Targeting the Kingpin. I'm
Double
always
Daphne
curious
here.
if just spamming Brutes is better because Like, you do lose out on the damage when the Kingpin kills the Brute, but it's also delay for the boss to keep munching away.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's fair enough. You send the big guy, like, maybe he has an accident and Penny leaks it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Witter has some beefy boys there. And the Dark Mage for the
Dark
DPS
Mage.
boost.
Okay. I mean, the Kingpin's going to do a lot of damage against the boss here.
Yeah.
Ben's a massive all-around.
Ooh, and no gun. Just goes for Disciple and a Consort, I think.
With the triple Daphne and the boosted Peewee, like, there's some serious damage here.
Yep.
But still a leak?
Still leaks? Wow.
And Widdowson's holding. Kingdan's barely leaking there. X-God and Shay. Oh, the 4 Eyes is going to do so much King damage, actually.
Yeah, I love that send. Like, realizing there's no real threat on X-God board, but he just has tanks, so... Yeah. Send a 4 Eye, does insane King... Okay, like, yeah, that seems normal.
Yeah, that's wave 10 for you, with 4 Eyes.
Youch.
Oh,
They are... They're dead.
Yeah, and Jules is now 77% in favour of Kingdans and Widdowson, and I think he might be onto something. 22 workers on Widdowson. My lord.
They actually both just go villain. They have like beautiful magician setups, but the villain is just also really powerful on their team.
Villain is so good. It covers their weak ways, right? Because at the moment it's looking like they're only really weak on, say, 13 and 15, and the villain is just so strong on those big waves.
Ooh, Eggy here. Love that.
Okay.
That's a way back into the game for sure.
Only if he holds it.
Yeah. There's definitely a world in which
he loses his egg immediately. Yeah.
Yeah, like Witter is 22 workers. Like.
Yeah, he can quite easily go for a big send on 12, for sure.
Yeah, like Trey has hidden his golems, so could bait them to send, but I feel like King and Witter might just also go long now.
I mean, I feel like this egg play. He's just going to lose his egg. Yeah, he just loses his egg.
Yeah, never mind.
But I think this egg play from X-God is still completely reasonable. Like, he realizes that he's behind in the game, and he's just going, okay, well, if I don't do something, we've lost. So let me try this risky play, and if it works, maybe we have a way back.
For sure, it's definitely worth to take a gamble in this situation.
And this time it didn't work the way he wanted it to, but yeah, I still think he made the right call there to go for a risky play.
Okay, everyone's saving.
So we probably just see a 13 play all around, or what do you think?
Yeah, it smells that way. The values are looking pretty low already. The boards aren't amazing. Like, Jay, I think, has insanely good odds of just full holding 13. With, like, perfect Azeria with villain and good tanks, like, he should be fine.
He needs it to be perfect, though, right? He absolutely needs it to be perfect. Because the sends coming in are going to be massive.
Daphne plus Azeria is usually good enough to just murder one side, like, of the Rockos.
Yeah. Azeria's not tanking very much, actually, but that's kind of the way you want it on wave 13.
Yeah, like two Rockos, two Golems would be good. Like, it can usually survive that, especially with Villain and Daphne support.
Yeah. Alright, there's a Siege Ram and a Mole, and a double 4 Eyes coming out from Widdowson. They just have so much more Mythium to play with on the side of Abrasiet.
Not sure about the Ram, given that there is already up for split, and there's not too many tanks in the split to hit the Ram low.
So,
but it's
bear with me. I think the theory behind the Ram is it distracts the Daphnes because they can shoot across the entire wave, and it might even distract the Azeria as well. And if that happens, the Azeria won't defend herself, and she'll just die to the Golems.
Yeah, and to be fair, Ram actually does a lot of damage to Yuzora as well.
Yeah?
Like, okay, let's see. We have some White Main Gates on the other side.
Never mind, the Daphnes stay left. The Daphnes stay left, the Azeria smurfing. Shay might just pull out the Dream Hold here.
Oh,
Now
now he's onto
everything's
the
on the
ram.
ram, but he
Okay.
killed the full left side first. Meanwhile, X-God, how are you doing? Pretty damn well, though. Shay! Oh, his area goes down! It's not going to be enough. He needed the dream hold.
Yeah, it's a really good try though.
It's a really, really good try there for Shay and X-God. Both of them barely leaking, but barely was all it needed to be. The game is over here. Abrasiet 1-0 in the grand finals.
Honestly, really impressed with how Witter played that. It was such a big risk to shift on 5 there, and he just gets away with it. And then he's in such a good spot to take over.
Yeah,
Holds 10 really cleanly.
let's have a flick back through to that wave 5. Yeah, exactly. That was super risky, actually. Like, Shay could have ruined his day with a single brute there on 5. And we know that Shay had the Mythium because he sent 160 on 6.
Yeah, and like Shay already had a really aggressive opener. Got like income king on 4. So it could have been pretty big sends, yeah.
Yeah. I think Shay's probably sending 100 on 5 if he wants to. And
Yeah,
like
brute
Brute Double Snail is just going to tear Widdowson to shreds there on wave 5.
And just completely ruins the plan as well.
Yeah.
There's no kingpin on 6 anymore.
Yeah, that was pretty
And if you're
ballsy from Widdowson, but like you say, it worked out, and that was able to give them a win. Also, this Mimic send on 7 from Kingdans was just rude.
really nice.
Shay leaking 90% there, and it got, what was it, 15, 18 gold on the Mimic as well? Nice value. Then
And
this,
like King with a really heads up play to just drift as well, or like to not push after 5.
yeah,
He, like puts down the golem, didn't get a full send. Saw X-God leak everything, so X-God is probably gonna send for some gold to make
Yeah.
up for it. Catches the resend and then pushes hard to leak Shay.
yeah. A very, very solid play all around from the Abrasiate boys. And then this 10 send was a killer. Absolute killer, bringing them down from 80% to 16. That 4 eyes just shredding the king of X-God and Shay.
Yeah, I mean, Wave 10 is the king killer for sure.
Wave 10 is a king killer. And then they're just able to pretty much push it over the line. Very small leaks from Shay and X-God, holding extremely well on 13 whilst heavily undervalued, but it wasn't quite enough, and that gives Kingdans and Widdowson the 1-0 advantage. So we've got a final on our hands, ladies and gents.
Yeah, a little quick start from King and Witter, taking over that game. Never was really in doubt.
Yeah.
And King did like a really good job. Like he basically played a 4 worker opener and still was like scaling fine in the game. So
Yeah.
really nice game.
All right, let's see what they've got in store for us in game number 2.
Yeah, maybe any mix-ups? Don't think so. I think they'll just stick with their plan. Witter got his win with redraw, so that's nice. Redraw and YOLO off the table. They have more consistent stuff now.
Yeah. Bear in mind as well that it's a best of 5 final, so we will see quite some mastermind variety on the side of Kingdans and Widdowson, or whichever team ends up winning. They'll have to play 3 different masterminds each.
Yep.
All right, Butter Boys, come on. You've got this one. We need to see all 5 games played. I don't even care which team wins. I just want to see all of the matches played.
Okay, great from Witterson. I think King and Witter never like to play double greed, but they're pulling out for this one.
Double greed. I mean, it's just safe, right? It's a pretty vanilla option. It doesn't really excel in any area, but it also doesn't have any weaknesses. So why not just take the safe route?
For sure. And playing safe for their 2-0 lead would be pretty big for them.
I'll ask you to
And
talk about the roles a second, and I will be right back in 10 seconds.
Shay already has a Poda Mask this time, upgrading his Poda role. Witter is also playing Poda with no mask, but still a solid role with Garik. And King is playing the gun again, has some nice cheap tanks, Doomsday APS for late game. And X God has like a pretty normal Gate Guard looter start.
Yeah.
Cat as an answer, Bunk as the scaling option.
Let's see if it's punished with a snail. Kingdans and Widdowson both holding on to their Mythium at this point. There's a king up from Kingdans. Widdowson, what are you doing with your 20? You're king upping as well.
And I got opting for the save.
Yeah, once again, we've seen him do it pretty much every game so far tonight. So he just holds his Mythium. He has these aggressive openers. Now, this time it's not 5 workers, but 2 pack rats provide even more Mythium than 5 workers do on wave 1.
Yep. There's like a little cheese strat that I know Kid K loves where you just double hunt and then push, and then you can send 40 after income after king upping on one. And it can really mess with people.
Yeah. And it looks like that's what he's going for.
He is looking like he wants to send 60. I think he'll get it.
But does he really want to send a DT? Like, if he wants to send 60, isn't he just going to send 3 snails?
Yeah, I think 3 snails would be the best. And King isn't built to hold 3 snails. He's built to hold 2 for sure. Let's see what he goes for.
He saves.
He's just holding Smith.
Okay. I would have liked to see 3 snail.
It's definitely would be a pretty annoying thing for King Nance to deal with.
Yeah. And it looks like all 4 players are holding here. There's no real aggression, but Shay does get a king up actually into his Pota build. And this time Shay has Priestess Mask. So if you thought he was scary last game, oh boy, Priestess with Mask is just a different beast.
Yeah, it's a bit hard to deal with early game. Widdowson also skillfully rerolled Mask.
Yeah, I don't know why he's building here. I think he should just hide it.
Yeah, hiding it is a lot more annoying. It makes them way more tilted on 4.
Exactly.
I mean, Widder has to build because he could have theoretically gone 40. But he also has Mask, so, he's chilling. Widder's roll is actually completely insane this game. Has such a nice mix of, like, pierce damage, Azeria, and then good tanks.
Mm-hmm.
King also rerolling into pretty nice stuff as well.
Alright, X-God is starving past 3, and here's a Dino on 4 for Kingdans. Let's see how he copes with that one.
I think King should be fine. I imagine he can either get a vet out or just 2 bucklers or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 2 bucklers. The safer play, considering.
He's just really high value there. 390. It is still minus 70 though.
Yeah, I've never seen this send ever versus gun, so I have no idea how it does, to be honest. Like, because usually with the snails, you have the option to pick off some of the wave in between the snails, but the dino, there's no option. It's just a dino. You gotta kill it first.
It's 100 Mythium send, but the triple buckler is just so much natural tank value.
Oh, the gun?
Gun
is it gonna die?
Does it
needs
protect
to shit right.
itself? It's going, gone. It's going to be a bit of a leak there from Kingdans.
Yeah, 50%. That's tough.
50%.
There's too many tanks on the left. Ended up just being problematic because PV died. There's nothing left for the gun.
Mm-hmm.
But it's going to be a cover. Not the worst. And Trey staying 7 workers. Did he get a send last? I guess he probably did.
We have a brute send from Widdowson, which is looking pretty solid against X-God on 5. He does go for the double hunt, but the thing is, Sea Dragon is so good on this wave. Like, it's insane single target magic damage against the boss, and it's going to keep his natural and fortified tanks alive.
I wonder if King is going for just the same send pattern and Mimic on 7. That's what it feels like, at least. So how does this brute do? Not too bad, not too good. Looks like most of the wave is getting killed. Ooh. But it's a small leak.
He'll take that, 47%. Like, he was pretty undervalued. He double hunted his rats. I think he's happy enough to leak small, especially because Shay 4 covers.
So everyone has some myth besides Widder. see what the plan is. Feels like wave 7 is reasonable considering how much natural armor King has.
Yeah.
And obviously we know that this build is like very hard to leak on 7 without Mimic because they always, it's always a Hellraiser here.
Yeah. And you just know that he's going to be really strong then on wave 7.
Yeah,
Both
like the
players
mix.
actually, like very, very similar builds from Widdowson and Shay.
Yeah. The wave 7 send will probably allow save X Gods wave 8 though, which is always nice.
Mhm.
And no Coda accidents, it looks like. 4 Rockos to the right for both of them, so shouldn't be a disaster here.
You've got to expect the good positioning at this level of play, right? Like, you can just see how perfect it is, although neither player receiving a send, so they weren't really tested either.
It's fair. Sometimes the enough melee sends can mess up your aggro.
Yeah. And King Dan's going for an income send here, while Shay actually goes for a full send into Widdowson's
That is
Tantrum Hellraiser.
bold.
Now,
Mole is a good send, but I have to say, I think it's gonna be completely fine. Like he just Green Devil maybe, and a guard.
yeah. Now, the question here is Widdowson ever just shifting that goal to try and get an Azeria for 8? And it looks
Yeah,
like no is the answer. He does
okay.
full build, okay. Unless...
Oh.
Okay, okay.
Oh. Made us sweat a little bit, but I think he's completely fine. Like this build can hold some insane undervalue stuff on
Shay's
7.
definitely fine, so let's keep our eyes on King Dan's and Widdowson, who received the dangerous sends, the 140 against Widdowson and the 180 against King Dan's, who will actually leak decently there in lane number 1. 73% leak for King. How is Widdowson doing? It looks like he's leaking pretty much only the mole.
Yep, and he's fine with that.
He's fine with that, but the fact that King Dan's leaked as well with imps and brutes, this is going to be a bit of King damage here.
Yeah, I think Witter's happy because he has his Mythium saved up.
Yeah.
But
Widdowson's definitely in the driving seat now, right? Like, the fact that he was able to save past this wave while only leaking very small. Oh, but he just goes for an income send on 8.
Interesting. I mean, I think they eventually want 10.
Yeah.
But I guess he felt like he wants to push a little bit, so he does need a send.
So the thing is, X-God does look pretty weak on this wave with the Harbinger, and obviously he's got the Pack Rats, which are one pretty garbage on 8, but because of the pressure, he might feel forced to not treasure hunt.
Yeah, he can't really get out his bunk without some magic. Oh, yep, there
He
goes
sells
one
a
of the
rat.
rats.
Okay, I mean, this is a pretty big win for King Dan's and Widdowson because 1, it's only an income send, and 2, X-God felt pressured enough that he had to sell one of his pack rats to get that bunk out. So sure, he's going to hold now, like, at least you would hope so, but...
Yeah, it's a full send, but it's still full income.
Yeah.
So should be okay, like, Harbinger's not tanking for his cats.
Wait, will he hold?
One more spawn?
Yeah, he's going to hold, right? The Harbinger can clean this up?
Surely.
Surely.
I got
Unless...
Oh, long wave.
One more? Okay. And yeah, I think that's actually pretty bad for X-God. Like, this is a tiny leak, but don't be deceived because he stayed really low workers to do this and sold one of his pack rats.
Yeah, and they do have the pressure to go 10 now, where Witter is looking horrible. But King is looking pretty decent there. Witter has an option to get out the Archer. There's no way he's building Archer here because he's dead to Mole in that case, but he can have a reasonable effort.
And King Dan's, what do you think about this Millennium placement here? Isn't that going to mess up his aggro later on?
It's... I think, yeah, I guess it's not horrible. It barely walks in front.
Yeah.
But...
Won't it, like, full tank on range waves, for example?
Yeah, I think it might be more than he wants on range. But he has some idea of how he wants to get APS and Butcher on a Phoenix, I would imagine.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
he definitely has a
plan. Probably not horrible.
He definitely has.
I do prefer Millennium on the left, though, just because of... Okay, but...
All right, everybody sends here on wave 10, which I think is a solid call. Widdowson in particular looking like he might be in a bit of trouble here to the Mimic Brute from Shay.
Yeah, the Archer is nice for late game, but the Dafty is a lot better on 10, so he's forced to go for just Alpha Mouse and tank value.
There is the APS which you expect, so we probably see the Phoenix either here or here later on in the game. We even have a boost here from Kingdowns. So
Yeah,
really
that's
trying to
fair.
cover his mate here on wave 10.
They go for some king ups too, like recognizing they're probably on the worst end of holding this.
Yeah. And Shay even whips out the Berserker here to go alongside his Sovereign, so he's just looking pretty solid actually on this wave. He should just full hold, or at least look very small. Meanwhile,
Yeah, the Mimic is a great send, but
Kingdowns
not
doesn't quite kill the boss. And Widdowson obviously leaking as well, but he did better than I expected, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
But Shay and Xcode
And-
both leaking as well.
Yeah. Bloody game. These gonna be more king damage probably on the left, but
But not by too
the
much,
bosses
honestly.
aren't. Yeah.
And over on the right-hand side, shaving
Yeah, I mean,
their
the
king
boss
down
is
below 80.
really 20% king for just like the tiniest leaks, so 10 is really unforgiving. Whoa, Xgod and Shay pushing hard. King and Witter chilling.
Oh,
See what the plans are.
we just had a very generous 10 gift sub donation from 6 NCI. So thank you very much for that. That's much appreciated. I'm sure all of the receivers are very happy with those gifts. Alright. So double pulverizer for Kingdowns and Widdowson, pretty solid on both Gon and Azeria. It covers your weak waves, so 13 obviously is a weakness for those units, but pulverizer counters those big columns quite well.
Curious behind the push from Xgod and Shay.
Do
What wave they're looking at?
they want 12 maybe? But 12 into a pulverizer Vulcan cannon is so risky. Like,
Yeah, with
unless
that
you get a
ram,
siege ram, which he just doesn't. At least not pre-income.
I feel like they want 13, and I guess they feel confident enough in their builds to push.
Mhm.
It's riskier either way if King and Witter are looking for something longer like 14 or 15. But to be honest,
And there is
Potomask
a
has
pro
very
leak
little
here from
weakness.
Kingdowns. I think he's trying to bait the 12 send though, because he shifted a lot
Yeah.
of gold.
Don't think it's gonna work, but let's see. Everyone holding their nerve.
Alright, so Kingdowns with his 520 gold. I do expect to see the Vulcan cannon here. No, he's
Wow.
adding the Fire Lord. Okay. Do you really want to show that though before wave 13?
I feel like if you're really greedy, you can just put the butcher and hide it, but it's very risky.
Just look at this, like, really interesting positioning from Kingdowns. I guess he's doing it in a way that the Phoenix is going to be fully buffed by the APS and the Butcher, but still tank some on wave 13,
Yeah,
etc.
like it's gonna be like a super Phoenix basically,
Yeah.
and it looks bad on
Well, it's currently
but
not tanking, but we have to hope that it will on 13.
yeah, if it doesn't take on 13, then it's gonna be tragic. But
Yeah.
pretty neat idea. So
Now, Xcod and Shay, they do have the Worker and Mythium lead, but of course that means Kingdowns and Widdowson have the value lead.
wow, income from King. Okay,
Okay. There's his Phoenix. He probably needed the income to make sure he had enough gold without selling any units.
yeah, Butcher Phoenix. Okay, or sorry, Butcher Peewee.
I also think they're correctly reading that Xcod and Shay are both quite strong on wave 13.
Yeah, I mean, Shay is literally never leaking. Xcode,
Yeah.
you could get him with a big enough send, but or I think at least Witter's.
Well,
can get
Widdowson
him
has
here
full
with this-
scent actually. He's gone for the
Yeah.
Four Eyes and the Brute, and we might see a leak out of
It's-
Xcod.
To be honest, I don't think. Oh, that's a very high split from Witter, like
Yeah.
one creep. But
Oh.
his Azir is actually like only focusing the right, so it's actually very good that it's only
Yeah.
taking one.
Now it's focusing to defend itself, so it's not going to die. And I think
Worked
Wooderson's
out a
just going to
lot.
do very, very well here. In fact, he might even full hold. Meanwhile, Kingdom's easily full holding with that godly Phoenix. Look at
Yeah,
that.
really nice. Like he
Okay,
set up
Wooders
this positioning on wave 9 and paid off.
Hexgod
He
feeding
grabbed the
shutdown
shutdown
here.
actually.
Okay. I think he won't be too happy with that, but just look at this beautiful Phoenix from Kingdoms. Easily holding the 460 Mythium Send from Xgod.
Okay. Thing is, like, even with Xgod Leak, they have like a neutral state from where Xgod was 4 workers ahead for that whole save. So his income with the investment is really pushing him ahead. See
Yeah.
where the next send comes, because we do have 2 Azirias in the game, as well as that Super Phoenix. Like, 15 isn't the best option into these builds.
We see all 4 players shifting large amounts of gold here, so nobody wants to show their value. They're all trying to kind of trying to pretend that they've pushed really hard to try and bait us end on 15. So maybe we see both teams just save past it because they're both saying, "Look, we're weak here. We've overpushed. You've got to send," and then they're going to build really high. But Kingdom's his Phoenix just ran it down mid on this wave.
Yeah. The Phoenix tanked like 70% of the wave. I think he's pro leaking.
I think with the Pulverizer and the Millennium, he might just be fine.
Oh. Yeah. It's so interesting. I think people are confused.
I think Xgod is doing quite a lot of pings there. But this is going to come down to whether or not he can stun lock it, which he can.
Ooh.
And the bait worked. Shay and Xgod are sending here on wave 15. Kingdans and Widdowson are just going to build for 800 gold each now.
Thing is, they're both undervalued. Like, these builds are leakable. Like, Aziria is great, but there's accidents that can happen with when your board relies on 1 unit Smurf tanking.
Absolutely. And Widdowson, he does have... He's even building for 16. This could be really dangerous now. Widdowson's full building 16 with the double Lioness Alpha Mill. Okay, he adds a few gargoyles now as well, so he's hedging his bets a little bit. But the sends are big.
His damage seems really low.
He
like,
has
it's
1
all on
Azaria
this
basically
Azaria.
for damage, and that's it.
And it's not
And the
tanking
Azaria
because
tanks
of his
nothing.
super high splits. I mean, he's worried because of the Pulverizer that the boss might just feel funny and go on it, but...
And meanwhile, Kingdans' Phoenix ran it down again, so it died pretty quickly. Widdowson, let's have a look over here. He's now on the boss.
I think they saved too long. This is gonna be big damage.
Yeah, but that survived, though, I'm pretty sure. So Widdowson leaks 81%. Kingdans will leak a bit less than that.
It's like half hitting the shadow.
73. There is a shaman, or there's 2 shamans alive, and 2 bosses on lowish HP. I don't think it kills them. They have 8 king attacks, but it's going to be a ton of damage.
Yeah, then they need to find the wave, which is probably 7. Okay, nope, I lied. It's 16. The builds look reasonable, though.
They
all good?
8%. Xgod and Shay, they save here, though. I guess
they need to do full spell, I think, is what they're planning.
They need
full spell and save in case it's 17.
But they are leaking here. The sends are massive coming out from Kingdans and Widdowson.
This is usually horrible on 16.
Yeah.
You have 2 of them.
And he's actually preparing the masks for 17. So he's building the Hellraisers here, where they're weak, so that they will be tantrumed next wave.
Yeah, it's the wrong read, but tough to make these calls. Yeah,
please, guys, you need to do the king. Please. No, they don't.
That's tough.
Yeah, I think that's all she wrote.
Do. I don't see the world in which they hold.
No,
or live,
I do not see that world either. I see the world where Kingdans and Widdowson go 2-0 in the grand finals.
Yeah, that one's looking pretty realistic. I mean, oh my god, this hold is pretty good for Xgod, actually.
Yeah, he's doing well, but now he's out of units.
Yeah, I actually lied. There's like a million creeps all bunched up together.
Yeah. They may have survived here with full king upgrades, but also maybe not, so...
Yeah, like Center Ogre, those guys don't really die to the King
Yeah,
spell.
they probably made the right call to save and just risk it for a biscuit.
Hmm. That's a tough one. That was a really nice bait by King, though.
Yeah, it was a really solid bait. Like we called it out. All four players were just shifting 300 to 400 gold on wave 14. It's super low value. Like, look at these values on 14: 2.2, 2.3, 2.5, 2.5. And the fact that King damn near leaked the no send causes Xgod and Shay to send there on 15. And to be fair, the send nearly worked. They go down to 8% there.
Yeah, it's tough to make the right, like,
Yeah, like
yeah, that's just tough.
a tiny bit more Mythium or a tiny bit worse RNG or whatever, and they probably just win the game there on 15. But as it happens, Abra see it. They hold their nerve on 15 and they get a cool 2-0 lead with a wave 16 send there. So very well played to those guys.
Yeah, I mean that is like a very bold call, I would say.
I mean, they're champions for a reason, right?
Indeed.
So, Abrasiet 2-0 lead. We need to see a reverse sweep coming out of Xgod and Shay if they're to win the September Cup. They can do it. The thing is, they can do it. Like, they very nearly won game number 2 just now. It was within a hair's breadth of closing the game out on 15. It didn't quite go their way, but in another world, you know, we'd be looking at a 1-1 at this point.
Yeah, and the thing is, King and Witter also need to pull out something new. The double greed is gone. I wonder if they'll opt for something just like cash out, like keep it.
Basically the same, or play
Mhm.
something completely different like Chaos, which I know King loves.
Yeah.
And Witter still has his YOLO open. Or his castle, his famous patented.
I think Castle is absolutely terrible for tournament play, to be honest. Like, it just
Yeah.
opens your early game up so much to be abused.
He's had some
Like,
he's had some unlucky castle games
Yeah.
in tournament, I think, most recently.
it just makes you so weak in the first 10 waves that you just can't
Mhm.
afford to, like, have a bad game in a tournament setting. It's suicide, I think. All right, Xgod and Shay, come on, guys. You've got to show us what you're made of here. This is your last chance. Abrasier to 2-0 up. The best of 5, so one more game for King Dans and Widdowson. They are our September champions. I do want to see some signs of life coming out from Shay and Xgod. They've got to at least give King and Widders a run for their money, right?
Yeah, let's see if they can show some life in this one. Like, they had a really close game. They just need to do the same and convert it this time.
All right, game number 3. Here we go. Abrasiet 2 points up in the best of 5. Xgod and Shay, let's make it happen.
Is anyone gonna pick a mastermind? Cartel from Shay, okay. Cash up from King. Oh jeez, there's some options there. YOLO. That is not the best YOLO roll.
Mm-hmm.
It's playable. Probably need to reroll though.
I mean, I don't know about playable. It's looking pretty rough.
Yeah, it's a reroll angle for sure.
Yeah. We have Windhawk Angler opener there for King Dans.
Angler Rat, oh my god,
And
he's
a rat.
putting it all together.
Wow. Pack rats are so strong at the moment, I feel.
Yeah. And what does Shay have? K-card Steed, Warg, Polly. That's a reasonable thing to open with. And transition to like Nightmare APS or something. Or LOD. Yeah, he sees the super Hades. X-God going for
Veteran double angular.
Double.
He's baiting the casters.
Surely.
Isn't he baiting the casters? What? What is this opener?
How do you feel about that one, Penny?
I mean, you know me. I love my angler openers. I'm just not sure that angler veteran is where it's at.
This is a new one.
Yeah,
I have not seen that before.
I don't know how I feel about the veteran double angler. It's certainly a build that we haven't seen in the Nova Cup Grand Finals before, so points for originality, I guess.
Yeah. He is doing something. He has perfect gold with no send to get 5 workers and with cash out, so
Okay, then I guess that means it's good.
he's calculated it for sure.
King Dans feels unable to hunt his pack rat here on 2, which I think, well, clearly he can't, because he can't build anything else.
Yep, just went 5 workers. Wonder if he goes, like, he's just going double guard next? Wow, 3 buzzes because the potential for 40.
But he's kind of rewarded, I guess. Like, I don't know. It's fine to play it safe there, I think, for Widdowson.
Yeah, don't mind it. He's gonna push anyways, and
Yeah.
he needed one of those buzzes anyways on 3, so...
We have a Fiend coming out from X-God. Thing is, King Dans also has Gargoyle, which is pretty good on wave 3.
Yeah, the thing is, where do you put these Gargs so that your board doesn't get wrecked by the Fiend?
Here and here, apparently.
Yeah. I guess so. The man has spoken.
But yeah, the Fiend is just very, very difficult for King Dans to kill.
And the Fiend goes onto this middle Garg here.
Yeah.
Can he kill it with just the Angler as Pierce?
The Angler is just so low Pierce damage, right? I think the Angler's even attacking the Hopper, actually.
Someone is killing the Fiend, I guess, but...
It's gone now, but this is going to be a bit of a leak here for the man. There's 1 more, 2 more. Yeah, but that's enough. 61% leak there for King Dans.
They have the Mythium saved, so let's see what they want to do with it. It's gonna be Big Sun onto Witter as well, the Dino.
Yeah. But Widdowson has tools to answer that with multiple consorts. King Dans, I think he needs to send here if he wants to upgrade the Bounty Hunter on wave 4.
Okay. Cannoneer? Got it.
Cannoneer is juicy. We get the Bounty Hunter upgrade from Dan, so he should easily be able to hold the resend coming out from X-God. Widdowson does add the consort. His gold is quite ugly though. 65, I suppose he can add a Ranger, but that's not perfect. Maybe he just goes for more buzzes.
I think that there's a limit on how many buzzes you want on your board, so I'd like to see just the Ranger, but yeah, he goes for it. But he's severely undervalued. Oh, okay. Can we focus the Dino now?
Well, the Dino's just living forever, though. I think Widdowson should leak decently here. Although this consort destroying the right side of the lane.
The Ranger needs to split tank. Okay.
Well, consort does kill the Dino. He's pretty happy with that. Widdowson is really happy with the 50% leak there.
Wow,
and meanwhile, the 100 send, Shay just holds it, and X-God leaks 67%.
Shay did a little Zomba action. He thought he was getting a big melee sense, so he tried to drag it all the way around, but there's just a Cannoneer.
It ends up with 3 DPS Polywogs, which is trying to do their very best to cover in the mid, and it turns out their very best is actually not that good.
Yeah. I think Shay is on to a good start, though, with the Cartel. He's got quite a good spot, I think.
Mm-hmm.
He needs to deal with this resend. Oh, he goes 8 workers. Okay, well, let's see. Can sell this poly to make sure the boss doesn't go right, or
he just adds another one. That's fine too. 8 workers. He has the gate guard. He has a steed. I think he does okay against the resend. He makes.
You're looking at 6 or 7, I guess.
7 looks so juicy against Widdowson's lane.
Yeah, King is not going to be much better there.
Unless he gets a Kingpin, but that's so hard for him to shift on 6 with Bounty Hunter already.
Yeah, I feel like he needs the Violet, and then there's no way to get the Kingpin. Like, there's ways, or he goes Nightmare. Nightmare is probably, if he has the gold for it, he needs to recognize that it's good enough on 6.
Seraphim on 2% HP, beautiful aggro there from Shay, who's on 9 workers. Doesn't go for 10 though.
probably understands he does need a build, probably like a Steed or a Warg.
Yeah.
Okay.
Xgod and Shay, are they continuing to save? They are. So I guess
King
their wave 7 is where it's going to be at. King's going to be on insane value, though. Like, he's on value here for 6 with a pack rat underground.
Yeah, that is the advantage of rats. Like, it's very hard to starve rats. Like, they're gonna keep up in myth and still be on value when you send.
I think
Ooh, a
Widdowson's...
little brood after income.
Yeah, Xgod's overbuilding decently, though, so he's going to
It's
really
plus
enjoy it.
80! Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
I mean, he has like the worst units imaginable, but I think when you're plus 80, it might not matter.
I think value is strong, right? But the other thing is, if the Brute actually gets like a Pro League out of Xgod, how bad is that for Team Abrusiet?
Yeah, they're completely happy with that. Yeah, there's even some nice aggro split tanking.
It's a really perfect 3-way aggro share, so
And
Xgod's just definitely holding there.
The wave
But-
takes 4 years.
Shay, are you going for a Pro League?
Oh, he got a full 80.
You got an 80 cent. King Dan sent the second turtle after income.
Oh, yeah. Got him, but did he really get them?
I mean, who's got who? Because we've got
Yeah.
200 cents coming out from Shay. Xgod can probably reach a third brute. Well, not quite a third brute, actually. But yeah, Widdowson looks really vulnerable on 7, and there's the ogre from Shay.
Mr. Ogre, that's a tough one.
Xgod.
Okay, brute, probably
Brute,
another
brute.
brute after income.
It's close. I think he needs to push one more worker, maybe? Yeah, which he does. He pushes the 9th
Yeah.
worker. Now he gets the third brute out.
Just smart. He knows he's getting like a baby son. King is plus 50. Seems about normal.
He's plus 50, but like this is his only real unit for 7. The Bounty
Yeah.
Hunter's super weak. Green Devil obviously is a tank, but doesn't deal any damage. The Violet, I mean, it's weak, but it might
I
do
suspect
okay.
he can hold.
But
It'd be tricky, but-
240 Mythium walks into Widdowson's lane. He is
Never
not
mind.
holding this.
Oh, he's instantly hitting a brute. Okay,
Okay,
that's a
brute-
good start. His Violet is just vibing though. Doesn't tank
Yeah.
for his nightmare. His nightmare is just. He got both brutes, but they got his nightmare.
And the Violet, like you say, is staying alive. King Dan's value is strong. Widdowson, his value is not too shabby either. Does leak the Ogre +2. And King, are
Yeah,
you just
he-
holding?
He had the right read to go alpha male on 7.
Meanwhile,
The
Escorts
famous-
leaks 51% to a Brute Snail resend there.
Wow. I mean, he pushed for the third brute, and his units are, like we mentioned. Oh my god, he
King
yourself, yeah.
Dan's holding.
Wow. I thought it was bad that his Violet didn't tank, but turns out the Violet was the one clutching it up at the end anyways.
I mean, the Violet just opened up the Brutes, right? So the Violet spell, bringing the Brutes below HP threshold, means that all 3 Brutes got sniped pretty quickly in King Dan's lane.
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming Xbo's not particularly happy looking at that aggro. Like,
No,
literally,
no.
the first unit hit was a brute, which is
Yeah.
just insane.
Now, we do have
And-
income resends from King Dan's and Widdowson. Xgod should be fine, though, with 945 value. Shay, what are you doing with your
bored, though.
260 gold?
Trying to
You're
get out
adding an
LOD. Okay.
Okay, so Shay holds as well.
Yeah, the wave 10 might be problematic, but we'll worry about that, I suppose, when they get there.
These are full sends from both Dans and Widdowson.
Yeah, to be honest, plus 45, but like these units just are really bad. Like they don't do anything particularly, but
But it's fine.
Maybe
Like, he
just
only
enough.
receives 4 snails, so he's
Yeah.
doing just fine.
and once he gets his kingpin, his board is completely fixed. But
Yeah.
for a
He'll
little
get that.
bit, but-
He's got that power spike coming up.
like if you look at his late game, he can recover this, but he's in a horrible spot. Like looking at his income.
Shay holding very slowly as well. I wonder when Shay and Xcard want to go now.
Maybe something just there's Overworth, there's Lizard Army. They might be looking for something even after 10.
Yeah, like a straight 11 play looks pretty decent, I'm going to say.
Yeah. The worry, for me is that this board is horrible on 10, so he needs to be quite a bit over.
Yeah,
He
but Xcard's
pushed
going to
quite a
cover,
bit.
right? Like he'll have at least one kingpin there. I guess it
Yeah,
will only
he's
do
not-
one, actually.
Not getting the second unless he sends, but maybe with this push, they're sending on 10?
Well,
But, like, I don't see how you're leaking King.
yeah, King, Dans, and Widdowson
Ooh, this income is nice.
both way better on 10 than they are on 11, I think. And especially with this 120 income send here into XGod, I think that cements the wave 11 send.
Yeah. I think Trey will just tell us God to cover, because he's gonna go for a bit of a leak if there's a send, and King is getting 160 if he wants it.
I think XGod
oh
actually
my
pro
God.
leaks here. But I don't know how much of a pro leak it is, because like you say, Shay is very, very vulnerable on 10.
This is a little unfortunate, considering it's just 80.
XGod now doesn't get a Kingpin without sending.
Yeah, they might be good. 4? Well, here comes the send from King. It's just income.
Oh,
Oh
they
yeah,
send,
they
they
do
send, okay.
Centaur.
Yeah, they just know that they're in a lot of trouble if XGod doesn't get that Kingpin out for 10. So maybe 11 was the plan, but there's just no way they can afford to save after XGod leaks there.
How do you feel about this unit?
I think you know how I feel about that unit. I think it's...
I can see the idea to try and snipe the doppel.
yeah. But
I'm
King's
worried that it's
even
gonna
punting
be...
here.
Yeah, he feels really confident. I think he should.
Well, we're about to find out. We've got 320 Mythium in Kingdan's lane, 360 for Widdowson, Shay receiving 240, and XGod gets a pretty big send as well. Let's see
This
what
doppel
happens.
just ran it down, and the Centaur is actually tanking the
The
Kingpin.
Centaur split
So
tanking. Oh!
absolute genius send, actually.
What a genius send. I take it back. Centaur was the best possible send here on wave 10. Kingdan's leaking a 50% HP boss, 4 shutdown. Widdowson,
Wow.
do you kill your boss? It's close, but no! The 0% Granddaddy. You hate to see it. Shay leaking as expected. XGod has a few units left in the mid to cover, but we're going to get some solid King damage here on the left-hand side.
Yeah, no King ups means just a little extra. I mean, oh, the King is also on the left going in a little bit, but...
Yeah. Alright. Well, we wanted signs of life from Shay and XGod.
Yeah.
How about 50% King damage to King Dans and Widdowson by wave 10?
Now they have something to play for, which is killing them.
Yeah.
So let's see when they think that that's possible. Ooh, an egg
look.
even from XGod.
Look at King Dans, by the way. So he knows that he's an absolute god on wave 11 and 12. So he's putting all of his value into rats instead of workers. He wants that Mythium coming in, but he doesn't want to be vulnerable on 13. So he's building those Impact Swift units instead of workers. He'll get the Mythium on wave 11, get it on wave 12, and then keep the value for wave 13 where he needs it most.
Yep. That's really clutch. And here comes Mr. Eggy.
Yeah.
See if this one lives. I think it will. He's got the Kingpin this time to actually kill some stuff.
Yeah, this time I think his egg is doing just fine. And again, we called out King Dan's play there with the rat, knowing that he's strong on 11 and 12. It's exactly the same logic for XGod here in lane 4. He knows that he's super strong on wave 11 and 12. He builds the egg here. It will hatch in time for his weak wave on 13.
He went overwork, by the way, and didn't send 12. Which is peculiar, because the reduced myth gen is going to hurt him. I mean, he got a lot of mythium out of that,
But
for sure.
wave 12 is going to be really fast as well, right? I think it's still a myth, like a positive
Yeah, it might be
Mythium game.
yeah. Yeah, I just wonder if Liz would be better. I mean, Liz army isn't the best in general versus King's board, but the Lizards do something.
The Lizards do something. Widdowson does have a Protector Phoenix, which I think is quite good on wave 13.
It's not too shabby. Shay is pushing the double 4-eye it. See if it works.
Yeah.
I don't imagine a world where people are skipping, so...
Like, it has to be a double 4-eyes. There's nothing else that has a chance of leaking Widdowson.
Yeah.
There's one. It will be post-income for the second. XGod just barely holding his lane.
XGod should also just easy hold.
Yeah, because he full shifted here, so we didn't actually call that out, but X-God shifted a bunch of gold here, wants to get that hidden Millennium Doomsday out on wave 13.
I think he's gonna go for Phoenix, actually. Or, well, I suppose it's up to him. He can do whatever he wants.
We have a Hades with double Leviathan buff in Shay's lane, but he's very, very undervalued. And now, this is exactly what we said. So King Dans keeps his rats above ground, and he's actually plus 57. But having said that, X-God's overvalue as well, with a Phoenix. So, did X-God reroll, or did I just not see that? I thought he would go for a Doomsday.
He's had the Phoenix, he had the option of going either one.
Yeah.
And he opted for the Phoenix here.
I mean,
I would have liked to see him adjust the split, but it's going to work because there's no 4-eyes to worry about.
Phoenix is just so good. The Protector Phoenix is down in Widdowson's lane. The double 4-eyes and triple Lizard was enough to kill that thing.
Yeah, and X-God is gonna just easy hold because they
easy
didn't know about the Phoenix.
Shay's leaking small, Widdowson leaks pretty big. King Dans, how are you doing? You might be the difference maker here. The Protector white main doppelganger is just living forever, and the Violet lives as well with a sliver of HP.
One-man army is getting the job done here.
We do see Phoenix covering his teammate here in lane 4 for X-God, and a decent chunk of king damage, but it's still not lethal against King Dans and Widdowson.
Yeah, and the question is, you probably want 16, but they're hard pushing for 15. Let's see if it works. Like, I'm worried because there's Garg spam on both King and Widder, and they're both not pushing that hard. But they are trying to use the fact that Shay is absolutely broken on 15 and trying to push hard for it. So I understand that line as well.
Well, this is just going to be a repeat of what we saw in game 2, right? Okay, Widdowson actually spends his gold, but King Dans, he's holding on to 350 at the moment. Oh, he's turning it into rats, and he's putting them all underground.
The difference maker is their king is a lot lower, so you really only need like the boss to go through, for example.
Yeah.
It'll just finish the job by himself.
But King Dans will be like plus 400 or something if there is a wave 15 send.
Yeah, that is what I'm worried about as well.
And there is a wave 15
Oh, it's Sui from X-God or something?
Not quite. He's
not a Sui, he just literally full push.
Yeah. Okay.
30 workers is a good way to kill someone who skips on 15.
Huh? Alright, but let's see now, because King Dans is going to be more or less on value.
Oh, he has a Hades.
He does have a Hades, which I think is quite good on 15.
Hades, yep.
Yeah.
And then
even add another Gargoyle.
Oh, well, I suppose sending risk that is kind of hard.
Yeah.
And he even does the famous King Dans tier 1 to center the wave, or center his units so that they hit the same target together. Shaman 4-eyes is not horrible, but the 4-eyes is really not that good against the Gargs and the Hades.
Alright, let's see now. Both King Dans and Widdowson have good units for this wave, and decent value as well. This is going to be really clutch now. The Pack Rat's obviously not great value, but the Hades is just dishing out the damage here. I think that's a hold for King Dans. Widdowson, his Phoenix is going down, so he will leak, but not massively. And King Dans with the big hold.
Yeah, Widder didn't quite get his Phoenix onto the boss.
King Dans? Is it a big hold?
Wait, I think they're still dead. Right?
I think they're dead.
It's 2 Shamans, 4-eye, and a boss that still has...
I mean, the boss is very low HP, but the Shamans are both full. There's a 4-eyes in the mix.
I think it's a repeat of the last game, but they win this time.
I think they win. It's so close. They do, yes!
Ooh.
Game number 3, we do have X-God and Shay clawing one back there from Abrasiet.
Very nice.
They're not out
yet. The hard push 15 works this time. They felt the overbuild coming, and they decided to just break it instead of also overbuilding.
They played very, very well this time around, X-God and Shay. Like, they played solidly all the way through, and like we saw, game 2 was very close. But this game, they just played extremely well, I feel like. They know their tournament lives are on the line. They're just pulling out all the stops here. We got this 10 send, Massive damage done against the king, straight into 13, breaking a protector phoenix, which is no mean feat, by the way, getting even more king damage. And then we get X-God pushing from 16 workers all the way to 30, knowing that he needs to break king downs. He didn't know about the Hades, but he knew he would have value. He gets that 600 send, and it is enough. We do get a 1 game back on the side of the Butter Boys.
Yeah, and a really nice recovery for X-God from like that early game where he was basically leaking every wave
Yeah,
over, like sometimes over value, and
yeah,
turning it into a really nice mid game with the egg and the kingpins.
yeah. Both King Dans and X-God actually, like, really good display of how to use your power spike on wave 11 and 12 with kingpins to make sure that you're stronger later into the game. King Dans with his rats, so he kept his value high but still got the Mythium, and X-God opting for the egg instead. So his Mythium was maybe a bit lower than it could have been, but he had that amazing unit on wave 13, which kind of guarantees his hold there, especially with the Phoenix that he pulled out as well. A really, really solid play.
Really tough for like Witter to send into nothing.
Yeah.
Like he gambles with imps, just trying to kill the Hydra and the bucklers. I think in that spot when you see a full shift though, you do have to just send 4 eyes.
Yeah,
at least one. Like it probably wouldn't leak it anyways, but it's just a rough spot.
I mean, Widdowson didn't even have enough Mythium for a double 4 eyes, and a single 4 eyes definitely doesn't leak
he
it.
only had imp 4 imps,
Yeah.
right?
A single 4 eyes definitely doesn't leak X-God there. But the other thing is, if he does go for a double 4 eyes and X-God opts for the Doomsday instead of the Phoenix, then he probably holds anyway, right? Like he just has a Doomsday on his APS aura there, and it just shreds the wave apart. So I think either way, X-God's shift there on 12 was pretty much guaranteeing a hold for him on 13. Very, very solid play. Like I'm super hyped now to see the next games. But one thing
that's the type of game where you start feeling it a little bit. Like you feel like you just can't make wrong plays. You have all the right reads.
Yeah, exactly. And I've got to say, Shayonet God piloted that one extremely well.
Yep, and we'll see. Now they have to show something a little different. No more cartel for Shay, which he was using really well to snowball. And no more cash out for X-God, which he used to pull off some very unorthodox openers.
Yeah. I've heard in the chat, by the way, that X-God's overwork was a misclick. He actually wanted the Lizard Army.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough. Usually you don't overwork.
Yeah. Alright. So we are going to have game number 4 coming very soon. I would love to see Butter Boys win this one as well. No favourites, obviously, but I just want to see the series go the distance. These two teams are so well matched, and they're playing at such a high level as well. I just love to see this go the distance. So I'm cheering for the Butter Boys in game number 4, purely because I want to see a 5-game series.
Yeah, I mean, game 5 where everyone has to flex like 3 masterminds at least.
Yeah,
that's always the best.
Yeah. Have you kept track, by the way, of who's won with what? Do we know which options are off the table for both teams?
Yeah, so King has won with YOLO and Greed. Witter has won with Redraw and Greed. Trey has won with Cartel, and Exar just won with Cash Out, I think.
Okay. So X-God and Shay still have a couple more options available to them, obviously, because they're behind in the series. But both teams still have plenty of options. And we haven't seen King on his trademark Chaos either. I wonder if we get a pawn shop game, King Dan's is definitely on Chaos. I guarantee it. I 100% guarantee it.
It's just waiting for it, huh?
Yeah. He's waiting for pawn shop. And it makes sense, right? Like, Chaos with pawn shop is just insane. Because when you get into that mid and late game, the ability to always sell your weak units for a strong unit, and you're constantly rotating unit pool with Chaos, like it just synergizes so well, and it's insane actually. Yeah,
and King Dan's obviously one pretty smart guy, so he always has a pretty good vision of which waves are happening, when's he getting a send, so he's really able to maximize the diversity of Chaos.
Exactly. Well, there's a lot of hype in the Twitch chat as well. We see lots of reverse sweep chants. A lot of chatter in there. I mean, it was a hell of an exciting game. Like, that was really edge of the seat stuff there with Shay and Xgod bringing the series back from the brink of destruction. But it's still match point, remember. Kingdans and Widdowson only need one more game. So we're still in a pretty dangerous situation for the Butter Boys. But yeah, I believe we're going to see game 5. Come on, Butter Boys, let's go.
There you go. Another. Let's see another Shay pop-off game.
Yeah.
I can feel it.
It looks like all of the players are ready, so we should be getting into game number 4 any second now. Ofma, my heart is beating.
Yeah.
Alright.
I'm so excited to see what they can pull, because all of these games have been pretty exciting early games, not just like one team incoming, one team starving.
Yeah.
Mix of starves back and forth, great holds, unpredictable sends even.
Yeah. Alright.
No pawn shop.
Twitch chat, here is our game number 4. Let's go.
Cash out, cash out. Ooh, I will say King has some nice options. I know he loves the cat and the pilgrim together for his early game. Fiesta
Fiesta
and
Xgod.
lock in Poda.
Okay. Okay,
Widdowson.
Widdowson, lock-in priestess. I see
like-
you.
Wave 15, not a problem. I got it this time.
Kingdans does
That's
not
good.
take the pilgrim. He's got a bit of a weird role actually. He's like, bro, you need
Yeah.
pierce damage? I've got your pierce damage right here.
Yeah, it's not what I expected, but I mean,
I'm sure he'll
we'll see
make
what
it
he does
work.
with it.
Widdowson
I don't
with
mind
the
it because
priestess.
Widdowson is guaranteed to be weaker on pierce waves with the Poda, so
Mhm.
little archer star from Shay. Ooh, he can play this one really aggressively with in the early game. Okay, a
Xgod?
veteran opener again, but this time it's Fiesta style.
Yeah, I don't love it, to be honest. This is one of those Fiesta openers where you're trying to force it too much, I
Wait.
feel. I think it's
Doesn't-
fine.
I know it leaks already like 40% without the rat, so I'd imagine that the rat doesn't break any thresholds, but the rat is kind of smurfing.
The rat is tanking and surviving.
Does
Is this going to make him hold?
a lot of damage on this wave.
Yeah,
I mean, it
this
looks like he's
might
just
be
easy holding.
a little bit embarrassing for Xgod, because now he has a garbage build and doesn't get his Fiesta gold either. Unless...
Why? I think it's
Oh,
extra
he's just going to hold. He's just going to hold.
good at the game.
Well,
Xgod is
Xgod,
just-
now you're playing with veteran Pee-wee and Looter.
Yep. Oh, he goes rat and haunts it.
Okay,
Or-
I can see that.
The Aqua is too strong, I think.
Yeah, the Aqua would definitely make him hold,
Unless
I
he's
feel.
expecting a snail. Come on,
He's in a
rat
bit
and
of an
hunt.
awkward position, isn't he? Like, he's got this really rough build going on. Didn't get his Fiesta gold on 2. Now he's going to hold again.
Oh.
He'll hold again on wave 2 now. Oh dear. I think this Fiesta might kind of go back in Xgod's face a little bit here.
Not gonna be perfect, that's for sure.
Kingdans with the snail sends on 3. Shay should be totally fine with that.
Well, he has option to Brute King if he wants. And King changed his role for something that looks a little more reasonable.
Alright, we do have snails coming out from both Dans. And with a Shay, the only player in the game saving, he should be okay though. Gets his Oathbreaker out here.
Possible that Dan's really just wanted the Nightmare, no matter what, because of Blessing.
Yeah.
It's like one of the strongest targets for it. Okay, 60 send on Shay and King. So it looks like Exod didn't go for the Brute, just the Lizard Snail.
And this mask, by the way, a really interesting ad there from Kingdans, because what it does is it brings the wave 3 creeps into a threshold where Nightmare always 2-shots. So
Yeah, that's huge.
that 25 gold unit is actually increasing the Nightmare's DPS by 50%.
Yeah, really nice awareness. Like that turns like what's gonna be a oh, that leaks.
That's a perfect leak from Shay.
I mean,
X-God
maybe Shay
holding
should be on the
again.
Fiesta.
Yeah.
Okay, what Shay want to do with all this Mythium? Double DT here. What's Splitter got? Is it just Mudman?
It is just
Yeah.
a... He hardens. A good call because he's getting the 100 send here from Shay, who almost certainly adds the snail to his double DTs.
It's possible that this leaks if the DTs traverse left.
Yeah. The DTs always go left like this because the snail forces them both left like that. The Mudman does have a ton of HP with the Harden though, so I think it's just enough. While the Aziria is able to keep herself alive on the left, unless
He
she
has to
attacks
kill
the
both
DT
DTs.
and the wave kills her. So this
Uh-oh.
will be a pretty big leak now. 88%. Widdowson a little bit unfortunate there. If the priestess attacks the chickens instead of the turtle,
Yeah.
the priestess stays alive.
At least there's a cover in the middle, so no king damage at least.
Yeah, or very little.
And let's see, Shay is playing very safe. Just chilled on 6 workers.
Yeah,
Knows his units aren't the best on 5.
not good on 5, but not amazing on 6 either.
Yeah, I think with 145 gold,
Could be
it sounds kind of troll, but you can just go second archer and it's not the worst. The other option is Guard plus Oathbreaker, probably.
going in for the Oathbreakers, which are... They're great
I
on
would like
5, obviously, but real bad on 6.
I would like to see him build them split, and he does. I sussed out my pings.
Alright, 120 Mythium walks into King Danz's lane. Like, we might expect to see a bit of a leak coming out here, but even so, he's actually fine with that because... actually, Widdowson 340 value with a D Harden Mudman. I mean, he has Priestess, sure, but I think he would have leaked decently to a resend.
Right after income would leak him really hard, I think.
Yeah.
But
Now, King Dan's obviously leaks pretty well to the 120 send, but again, he's completely fine with that. Widdowson, with his massive 340 value, is able to hold his lane, cover a little bit in the mid as well. And here comes the big boy counter-attack sends on wave 6. Double brute from Widdowson. King Dan's, what is your send? Maybe a mole?
double brute? Mole is reasonable as well.
It is double brute, okay.
I think you don't worry too much about the archer damage. It is his DPS, but you can just overwhelm it.
Yeah, I mean, the archer's already weak on wave 6, right? So do you really need to reduce it more?
Antler here. Or that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good call, Mr. Ofma. Yeah, reading these guys like a book.
He needs his archer to live. That's the main thing. Like if his archer smurfs, then yes, he can hold this.
I have a feeling that X-God is about to get his first Fiesta of the game, by the way, on wave 6.
Yeah. This one is looking like a bit of a leak. He has really nice aggro though. Everyone picking up a little bit.
He's got some nice aggro share, but he's still leaking badly. It's still 160 send on a wave where he's real bad. Oh, that is beautiful. That is absolutely beautiful.
That is a game saver for sure,
Yeah.
because if this archer is dead, this is like way worse. And
is he even holding? No, right? But it's he killed the brute with the dying breath.
Really nice hold.
Okay.
He's on value, but I mean that was a big send.
Yeah, that was a big send. And X-God leaking 80% there. If Shay had leaked, like you say, like his archer surviving there with a sliver of HP is huge, because that thing dies, he's just leaking 50% as well, and these guys then, their king is on 50% too.
Yeah. Wave 6 also doing an insane amount of damage to the king.
Yeah. There is a brute resend from king, but I don't see that working against Shay. Yeah, maybe, who knows? Like, his tanks are not perfect.
Brute double snail. It's possible Archer really doesn't do that much damage by itself. 1/7 needs a lot of time.
Yeah.
And the tanks... He added a 200 gold natural tank, so I understand why he wants the resend.
Yeah. That gives Shay workers. He was holding 77 gold. I think he wanted to go for the Trinity Archer on 8, but Gets the send here instead and pushes it into workers. Now let's see if he's able to hold. My guess would be no, but he's doing okay.
Yeah, this is basically a hold, even if he leaks very small.
He's going to kill one more slime. Is it ever another one? No, but 37% against a full send from King Dan's. Yeah, I think he's happy with that.
Yep, he's got his Mythium held as well. Can choose a wave of his liking.
Yeah.
Maybe
When do you go
9?
against King and Widdowson?
I
I
think
can see
9 is reasonable, but like he has insane tank value, just not a lot
Yeah.
of damage.
And Widdowson probably just shifts for his area here as well.
Yeah, he should make that read, I think. Like,
Now,
okay, his unit is horrible here, but
Widdowson has these units. It is wave 8, and there's a mole. So I think Xcod may be getting another Fiesta here, even though all of his units are arcane.
he did hold it before against Drac and Lucy, but he was a little closer to value in that game.
Yeah, and
So
had units like that did some damage maybe.
Yeah, possibly. I
So
mean,
this
if
is
it's Aqua
tanking
Smurfs,
perfectly. Okay.
it's more.
Does he ever kill them all? He does, right? Yeah, he does. Okay.
Eventually, yeah.
This might end up just being a pretty solid Fiesta
An
for him.
actual
then.
Fiesta, yeah.
Yeah.
Really nice. Unfortunately, Shay also decided like he
Uh-oh.
wanted a Fiesta, but
Okay,
it's
double
barely
Fiesta,
anything.
33% each. All of them are low though, so they won't take too much king damage. It would obviously have been nicer if one of the players had held, but you can't have everything.
And now a big sun, I would imagine here, undercutting the 10 where the X-Belt looks horrible.
There's an ogre coming out and a
GK.
ghost knight from X-God. Okay.
That's bold.
I mean, I think it's
And
a
he's
millennium. Okay,
surely
X-God.
he's gonna keep his upper split, right? Sell the mass upper split? Yeah.
Yeah. Does the millennium
Ah.
ever cross lane into the GK though?
It's unlikely, I feel like, but possible, I suppose.
There's a brute as well. X-God will get enough Mythium to add a brute to his ghost knight.
Oh.
Okay, the Millennium is going to clean up the left-hand side, but the Ghost Knight on the right means that this split does absolutely 0 damage, and it will then walk over left, where it will start to tank the Millennium after all.
Twitter is plus 20, so let's see if he can pull something out.
I mean, the Azeria is very solid, but as soon as that heal ends, I think the Ogre will be able to chew through the hit points. Oh, he gets another one!
Oh my god, it's a full hold.
It's a full hold. Okay, Azeria, I would be tilted right now if I was X-God and Shay.
He didn't even harden, by the way, so...
Didn't even harden, by the way.
Absolute Chad.
Yeah. Azeria. Pretty good unit.
Yeah. You know, Boone swears by Azeria is the best unit in the game right now, and it's certainly
I
up
think he
there.
might be onto something.
It's the same thing as Phoenix, where it's insane damage, insane survivability.
Yeah. Now, Jules is giving 53% to Dans and Widdowson.
I think that's right in terms that they have an advantage from that hold, but it's not like the game is over.
Oh, absolutely not. And
Everyone
Shay
is-
has white main gates. Like,
Yeah.
maybe one of the strongest late game builds.
It also has a reroll, so
He does.
the whole world is available to him.
I think X-God's role is looking pretty scuffed. So he might be the one to suicide later into the game, trying to break through King Downs.
Yeah, his build doesn't have too much synergy. He has, like... He has some things.
He has.
I think I would have
he has
liked to
some
see him
things,
pitch the
yeah.
rat for the Aquas as, like, a late game damage source, but...
He just leaks no sense. This is a pretty solid Fiesta, actually.
Yeah, he'll take that.
Well, Shay, do you hold this time? You do, okay. 330 damage on the boss. The Elite Archer, I think, won't quite cover that. But the
He
King
might be saying
will.
wave 12, actually.
Let's see if
Possible
we
with
get the
PTA,
double
but-
Divine. We do. Double Divine Blessing for King Downs
Yeah,
and
they are
Widdowson.
gonna save.
Yeah, and Divine Blessing is amazing on Azeria, by the way. I don't know if we mentioned this at the start of the game, but it might be the best unit possible to have the Divine Blessing. Obviously, it gets all the extra heal value, which is percentage HP based, and it just does a ton of damage, of course, with the extra 18% attack speed.
King also has beautiful targets for the Divine.
Yeah. The Doppelganger goes to another level if it has Butcher, of course. So he's probably a bit sad that he didn't get the Butcher Divine Blessing Doppelganger. But yeah, it's still very strong regardless.
Oh, he just shows it. And the PTA is going to be a little sad seeing Divine.
Yeah.
It's
And King Dan shifted a
not
decent
likely.
amount of gold here as well, so he can just be on very high value for next wave. I think they might be trying to bait the send, but like you say, if they really wanted to bait the send, you probably don't show the Divine Blessing here for Widdowson.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of obvious
And
what you're taking.
they take the
but...
baits. They do take the baits.
All right, another situation where King and Witter is... Oh my
That
god,
is a Kraken, though. That is a Kraken from Shay. All right, Widdowson, what's your answer, my friend? A Doomsday from King Dan's. A Divine Blessing Doomsday, nonetheless.
It's not... It's going to take a little bit, that's for sure.
Yeah, and there is no Ghost Knight this time from X-God. He's going for Auras and Imps instead.
He's trying to overwhelm the tanks, which is, you know, fair enough. The wave is already Ghost Knight typing.
Yeah. But this is actually looking kind of dangerous now. We do
I
have
might
a
be wrong by-
hardened Golem for Widdowson, but look at their values, it's scary.
Oh, the very clutch upper slit. Oh, wait, what? Did he not get up?
It's lower.
Oh, he did
It's a
lower slit.
Yeah. And now that Kraken's walking straight into the Divine Blessing Azeria. Is it able to kill her?
It straight up
think
just
it does.
murdered it.
The Azeria is down, I repeat, the Azeria is down! And King Dan's, his Divine Blessing is about to die as well.
Uh-oh.
That's an 83% leak on the King,
Wow,
an 87%
okay.
leak on Widdowson. I don't think they die here, but they've both lost their Legion spells with the Divine Blessings going down, and they're taking a ton of damage.
Like, can they really commit to 13 where X-God and Shay look weaker, but with this much gold, how weak could they be? Like, they have to commit to something like 15.
Hey,
I
everybody
feel like to get
saves.
their one shot.
Everybody saves.
Okay, well, X-God is getting a solve out, maybe. No, he's even making the
He's
read that
building
they're not
for
going
14.
here.
Yeah.
And same with Shay. Really nice stuff.
Wow, Shay just builds a second Trinity Archer here, yeah. Rather than going for
Yeah,
that
his-
Hellgate.
His board is unreal on 14. He still has his reroll. Not much to dig for, but there could be something.
It could be something. His board is very strong on 14, but the sends are going to be enormous. We're talking like 700 Mythium walking into his lane.
Yeah. We'll see how they do. The advantage is obviously Witter and King are a little starved.
They are. Their
So the
income
surviving
is very
is-
low, and their value's very low as well. Like, I
Yeah.
think X-God and Shay might just go for the race here on 14, even though there's a Doomsday.
It's not the worst call.
I mean, isn't Widdowson just leaking no send here? Yes.
Okay, well now they know for sure they need to send.
Yeah. Double
Two
Centaur from
Centaurs.
King Dance. Okay. We've got Four Eyes Auras. There's the Ghost Knight from X-God. There's the Four Eyes from
She
Shay.
wasn't actually getting that GK at income if there wasn't a pro league.
Yeah.
So that's nice.
But it will be pulled right by King Dance. Remember,
Yes.
like, same as he gets his second Millennium. I guess he just spams tanks now. He does. Widdowson
what is-
hardens. He knows this is going to be a race.
I feel like what I wanted Shay to reroll most for was a fortified tank. Because it's the best answer to Centaur, which is what King went for.
Yeah.
And I don't hate just building another archer and just trying to nuke the wave.
Yeah. There's a ton of damage, and we have X-God with triple canopy, boosted veterans. Like, actually, X-God and Shay are on better value than King Dan's and Widdowson, but the
They need
sends
to
are
raise.
enormous.
I don't love the Four Eyes. I think an Ogre would be better.
Yeah,
and would
I
let you
agree.
get out something like a Mole as well, but let's see. The Centaurs are murdering the split, now murdering
King
the archers.
Dan's, he is now attacking the Ghost Knight. His Millenniums don't split tank. Shay leaks really hard. XGod, how are you doing? You're going to leak too. Widdowson now leaks. King Dance holds the longest, but their HP is much lower. And actually, XGod leaks very, very slowly there. This is going to be a race. Which side is going to win? There's a massive King HP advantage on the right side. And I think XGod and Shay have brought this series to a tie. They do.
Here we go.
Let me just...
Game 5. Wow.
Yes! Butter boys!
Amazing.
Wow. I got my dream come true. We've got a best of 5 on our hands, ladies and gentlemen. What a game.
I feel like Witter is going to be kicking himself for not upper splitting on 12.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
He clearly had the presence of mind. He literally just misclicked where his rat went, I think.
Yeah, he was placing it very last second, right?
Yeah.
But
like
that was so huge because the Kraken walking left just obliterated his Divine Blessing Azeria. And without that, I don't even know if he's able to hold, even if he kites the Kraken, but he does much, much better, right?
Yeah, for sure. And they don't take as much HP. I'm pretty sure he could full hold that, actually.
Wow.
Like, okay, he'll hit the Kraken eventually, so maybe not a full hold, but...
What a game, Ofma. I'm borderline speechless. That was just insane. And absolutely massive credit to both XGod and Shay for their call there. Like, they know they're kind of weak 13, but both of them full build 14. We've got Trinity Archer and Gargoyles from Shay. We've got the Avenger and a Canopy from XGod and a double treasure hunt as well, by the way. He's really confident in his call that they go 14. That means when the 14 send does come, he's got perfect units there with the triple Canopy, boosted Veteran, pack rats to add value, and he holds on the longest, and they win the race. Just insane stuff. Absolutely insane. These guys are... Wow. I thought they were in trouble. I mean, they were in trouble. They lost the first 2 games in a row. But now it's just match point. Right? We've got both teams 2 games apiece, and it's all going to come down to game number 5. I really can't call it either way. I think...
Yeah.
I think just for the fans, it's got to be Butter Boys, right? Like, the reverse sweep... They look like they were in so much trouble after the first 2 games. It's just got to be a dream come true, right? If they just win this game number 5 and take the tournament.
I'm going to run to the bathroom.
Yeah, go ahead. All right. Twitch chat, I think I probably need to grab myself some water as well after all of that shouting. So I will leave you with our competition sheet. I will not, because I've closed it. But I will be right back in 30 seconds. All right, Twitch chat, I am back. We have an Ofma in here as well, I believe. Oh, what a series, Ofma. My God, that is tense.
The series is indeed coming down to the wire.
Yeah. All right, XGod and Shay are ready. Caster's ready. Pingdans and Widdowson ready. Twitch chat, I hope you are ready as well, because here it comes. September Nova Cup Grand Finals, game number 5. Let's get it on.
But pulling that off with the the struggle Fiesta opener.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay, Cartel, Greed,
Cash
YOLO,
out
and
YOLO.
Witter. Okay, cash out from King again. Can he convert this time? He has Crusher with cash out.
Cash out
Aqua.
Crusher
Oh,
with Aqua is a fantastic cash out opener. It's very, very strong.
Witter has no late game in his role yet, but solid early game units. You know, Shay has the Poda available to him if he wants it.
Yeah. And we
He's
saw
treated
him
him well
play.
so far.
Shay's a pretty good Pota player. Interesting that Widdowson doesn't follow his the same logic that he did in the previous game with the lock-in priestess. I think maybe
Yeah.
last game he did that entirely because of the divine blessing, knowing how good
Yeah.
Aziria is with that blessing. And this
for
time,
sure.
yeah, this time he just wants more income instead.
I'm a little sad that we don't get to see the King Chaos.
Yeah, no pawn shop though. I can guarantee if there was pawn shop, King Dan's would be on.
Here come the rats. Oh, he's not. He's gonna not even go for the Pro League.
Okay, he wants to hold. Oh, that's because he has the treasure hunt, right?
Yeah,
So the faster the waves, the more powerful the treasure hunt.
for sure. Oh,
There's a
and
snail,
he
though.
sussed out the snail.
Okay, well, he is going to leak then. The looter maybe lets him kill another one creep than he would otherwise.
Yeah.
67. I think maybe he kills
Better
an
than
extra one
75.
creep with the looter. Yeah. But
See what they do. They saved.
they did save. It's a long wave, which is a little punishing for the double looter, but he's fine.
King actually opted to not go for the Crusher opener. Went for the Gate Guard instead.
Let me just update the scoreboard quickly. I've left that on 2-1 currently. Get that corrected. It is, of course, 2 for 2. All right. Xcod unfortunately sends a snail here. I assume he needed the income. He did, yeah. Like he needed it to get the double gargoyle out.
King is gonna snack on that one.
He is. Xcod can still do something disgusting like a post-income fiend snail, though.
Yeah, and King built a lot for Wave 2 and Wave 4, and not so much for Wave 3.
Yeah. Like, you have to assume he's going to get the Seraphim upgraded for Wave 3, but if the Fiend goes right, it's going to destroy it.
His other option is the Coiler, which he could go for because it's also really strong on 4.
Yeah.
We'll see what he opts for. He's only going to get the DT.
Okay. And because he's 2 workers, he doesn't get a second DT. I wonder if he adds a snail or not. I mean, King Dan's is 300 value, right? Like, he should be able to hold.
Yeah, I mean, this is the cash out special. It's
Yeah.
like 5 workers, nice try on 3.
I have to say, Widdowson's YOLO roll is not perfect, and he has used his reroll already.
Yeah, and the same with King. Like, these rules both can't
Oh,
carry
they
in late
both
game.
used their rerolls, actually. So neither King nor Widdowson have real late game roll to speak of. So I expect them to go for some big early aggression, because otherwise they're just dead in the late game. And Widdowson 74% there to the triple snail, with his treasure hunt trying to show off, getting burned in response. King Dan's does hold, but he's not going to kill up anything in the mid.
Yeah, I mean, Witterson went for a bit of a risk. I mean, 6 workers and hunting a rat is very bold, to put it one way. See what he wants to do with his Mythium. I mean, he pushed hard for something, and it's a wave 4 send versus X-God.
This
The
is a
thing is,
dino
X-God
send.
can
Really
always
bad.
just unhunt.
Yeah. I mean, he gets the fire elemental, which is obviously very strong,
Okay.
and he's actually on value even with the hunted rats. He stayed
Yeah.
2 workers this entire time. All right. I mean, the Wanderer obviously is very bad on wave 4, but value is quite good.
Yep. He should be just fine unless his gun decides to die. And Witter reading that X-God is in fact way over.
Yeah, he sends the
Just
king
goes
up
for
with the dino. And the Aqua is taking a lot of damage, but I think it's enough that it can survive there. Yeah, so X-God is holding. The Gatling gun is split tanking with the Wanderer. That looks like a hold to me. So X-God and Shay, they're back in the driving seat. They really have the initiative now. They've got a solid chunk of Mythium saved up. There's no pressure against them from King Dans and Widdowson after that send, which they both successfully hold. And when do you think they go?
Looking at these builds, you want to say 8 eventually, but
Yeah,
getting to 8? Tough.
Yeah. I mean, 8 against King Dan's is absolutely crushing. Of course, he'll have a coiler there, but Ghost Knight just rips him to pieces. And likewise, Widdowson, how is Widdowson holding Mole Hermit? I mean, he has a coiler of his own, but that's still hidden for now.
Feel like it's fine to just take him here as well. I don't hate that. 7
Let's
is
see what they do.
possible as well after
Okay,
you
I'll
see the
save it.
Royal Guard.
Yeah.
The Royal Guard is definitely an indication that he didn't shift for an answer here, but he is going to get out his Canopy.
King knows it's not coming here, so he just builds the Wild Shroom. He's going to shift 64 gold. Widdowson, what do you do with your 176? He actually sells a rat for the Violet. Obviously very strong here. I guess... Oh, King Dan's actually builds another Buckler as well, by the way, so wasn't quite confident enough to shift.
Okay. 160. That's the magic number usually.
Oh, that's Mimic territory, but actually, Mimic is pretty bad against King Dan's, isn't it?
Yeah, is it ever Pack Leader, honestly? It doesn't answer the Canopy directly, so maybe the Brutes are just better, but...
I'm feeling wave 8. And it will be a wave 8.
That is a really good call.
There's more treasure hunting going on. But X-God won't get that Ghost Knight in income, though. Because he's getting so much of his Mythium from rats instead of workers. There's no way he gets the Ghost Knight pre-income, I think.
Yeah, he would need an insanely long wave.
Yeah, one of the players needs to leak, and he probably also needs to full push. He's even keeping one of the rats above ground, actually.
Yeah, I guess he feels like they don't need he doesn't need the GK. It would be nice, for sure.
There's no way he gets 30 Mythium with 5 workers, right?
Yeah, he's plus 45, so he's going to clear actually really fast, I would imagine.
Yeah.
And Shay is also on value, so they're clearing fast as well. Would have been nice to see him actually leave a rat unhunted. Try and get a longer wave out.
Yeah. I tried to go for that pro leak, but you're feeling the pressure, right? He actually goes for Imp's Mole. And Shay, with the Ogre as well. So we've got the Deep Coiler coming out. I don't know how I feel about the Ogre, though. There's a lot of impact damage here in Widdowson's lane. And King Dan's against the Imp Mole as well. I don't know.
Coiler is really nice. For Widder. And
Well, for both, right?
Yeah, he hasn't. They both haven't should have, and the mole will answer it because the mole is really hard to kill.
Alright, 260 and 240 Mythium. Let's see if either player is able to hold. Oh, this Coiler's getting speedrun though. Blocking the lane with the pack rat, actually backfiring badly for Widdowson. Meanwhile, King Dan's, his Coiler goes down.
Oh, he's not going to kill the Ogre, is he?
Oh, that Gate Guard just got off a summon in time. Big leaks, 105% for Widdowson. How is King Dan's doing? Slightly better, but not well enough. 60%. Oh. Oh boy! And just look at the workers as well. Good start.
Shay just buying all of them.
Yeah?
Not a worker he won't push.
Well, Butterboy fans in the Twitch chat, can you show some love for your boys X-God and Shay? We wanted to see the dream reverse sweep, and things are certainly starting off well for them if that's the case.
They are trying to make it happen. I mean, Widder is stuck in worker prison.
Yeah, 7 workers on Widdowson. Oh boy.
Not the record for lowest workers, but certainly up there.
Yeah. And the other thing is, remember the roles. Like, for Kingdans and Widdowson to win this one, they kind of need to be crushing the early game, but at the moment it looks like the opposite.
Yep. I would say the scaling is a lot more favored in terms of the Butter Boys, so
Yeah.
they must be feeling pretty confident here. There's no real weaknesses, it feels like. Will have to be something long, but
Yeah.
to what end?
Alright, everybody saves. Oh. Xgod topping the power score there. Widdowson lagging behind now with his 7 workers. Alright, Kingdan's fully building here. 1400 value. He's got very tanky build, but lacking in damage. I could see a wave 12 send coming out from the Butter Boys.
Yeah, I mean, the other option is, do they ever get... It's close to a GK in income for both of them.
A wave 11? Yeah, I think they
Yeah, I
do,
mean,
right? If they wanted to go down that path. But the reason I don't like 11 so much is that Kingdan's units, like his Royal Guards, they are just the perfect tank on wave 11, right?
for
Whereas
sure.
they're just complete dead value on 12.
Looks like King is going for income here.
King is going for income. Shay and Xgod save. This is going to be a 12 send with
And
Lizard
they
Army.
Lizard Army right away.
I expect to see Sacrifice or Villain for the Abrasiate boys.
It feels like without Villain, their rolls can't kill anything. There's just no DPS in either of
Yeah.
their rolls, really. Like, Coiler being your best DPS is rough.
Yeah. You've got to feel for Abrasiate a little bit here. Like, these rolls are just not what you want to see in the final game of a best-of-5 series. They're obviously doing the best they can with it, but Xgod and Shay are not giving them a moment to breathe.
Yeah.
We do have the double Lizard Army. Widdowson taking the Villain as well. So Abrasiate going for that powerful buff spell. We do have the send against Shay, who I can only assume will full push now into this 12 send. Widdowson even treasure hunting, actually.
Yeah, good read. I think they expect the 12 as well. And the Lizard Army will definitely confirm that.
I mean, Xgod, I think he can double Ghost Knight, can he? Oh, he didn't treasure hunt this week.
Oh!
Shay giving
Uh-oh.
shutdown.
That's
Okay.
actually a lot of gold. Shutdown plus 75% link.
Yeah. Xgod at least will clear this up in the mid, so there won't be very much king damage.
I mean, the gold doesn't matter if they don't hold, obviously, but...
Yeah. But it's something.
Yeah, I mean, this wave is also taking about 4 years, which is not great.
A little bit of lag there. Hopefully that's nothing big. Okay, a very minor king damage. And yeah, like you say, this wave is just lasting forever. And it's just pack leader imps.
Classic. Tried and true.
It's a very good send against both players. I would have liked to see Ghost Knights maybe against Kingdans in particular, but Pack Leader Imps is just very, very solid. And look at these values, by the way. We've got Kingdans minus... Actually, it's not even that bad. When he finishes building, he's around minus 150. He just has no damage apart from these coilers.
We're having to villain a Canopy. That is the state of affairs.
Yeah. You love to see it. The sends are pretty massive. Meanwhile, Widdowson's still on 7 workers, by the way, wave 12.
Yeah, it's a tough game.
520 Mythium for Kingdans, 580 for Widdowson. Let's see how the boys do against these sends. Widdowson getting his coilers both killed.
The Lizard Army,
quickly.
man. It's like the perfect spell.
Kingdan's getting wrapped around. He does get that final summon. It won't be enough. That's a big lead.
Dead.
Widdowson 125%. Kingdan's 88%. The Butter Boys have done it. This is a reverse sweep. Butter Boys are your September champions. Let's go.
Wow.
Insane. The GG's come out.
Reverse sweep. Oh my god. Amazing.
Holy moly, what a series. What a series. Ofma. Ofma. What just happened?
Unreal. I'm still in shock that they did it.
Yeah. let's just have a quick look through this game, because this was absolute bullying from the Butter Boys. From start to finish, they drove this game. Like, we got the leak on the snail on 1 against XGod, so a bit of a moral victory there for Widdowson. But then we get the 20 send into the 60 send. Widdowson leaks really hard with his treasure hunt there, maybe being a bit too greedy for his own good. And XGod staying 2 workers, hunting his treasure hunts every single wave. Both Shay and XGod hold their wave 4 sends. And they go straight wave 8 with these massive 200 Mythian sends. Getting big king damage. King Dans and Widdowson down to 50% wave 8. And that just opens the path for this enormous 500 plus Mythium send on wave 12. Killing King Dans and Widdowson, crushing their Nova Cup dreams. And that gives us our September champions, Shay and XGod, the Butter Boys. Incredible play.
Oh,
hey, Exod.
Speak
Hey.
of the devil,
Welcome to the party.
Thank you.
XGod, how are you
Very
doing,
well
my
played.
friend?
not bad. I mean,
Very
it's,
well
I
played.
think it's a pretty exciting series, I would say.
Dude, that was
Yeah.
insane. That was absolutely insane. I can't explain how hyped Ofma and I and the entirety of Twitch chat was for that series. Like, you and Shay just put on an absolute show for us. Going down 2-0 in the first 2 games, I was really worried for you guys. And then you just absolutely bring it back there with that incredible reverse sweep. It's super well played, by the way. Do you know if Shay
Thank you.
is Shay going to join us?
Yeah, I
Here
think
he
he's gonna be here. Yeah.
Shay, you just missed me singing your guys' praises. I was saying, what a show. The reverse sweep was just a real dream for you guys. Like, a bit of a rough start in those first 2 games, but my God, you brought it back in style. Insane play. Very well done.
Yeah, thank you.
Really,
A lot of good
really nice
calls
game.
by XGod, and I think we just dialed in a lot more on the last 3 games.
Yeah.
I was
Game 1 was a little bit of a blunder from both of us, and I think Game 2 was actually really close. We could have
Mhm.
won on 15, but we
Yeah, it was
didn't
a
want,
race, right? Like, you came within a
Yeah.
whisker, I think, of winning game 2.
Yeah, but and I think for the other 3 games, Game 3, I think that was the game when I had King Pain early, and
Yeah.
maybe that one was a little bit rough, but we came back and the last 2 games were like I was just in a groove and I felt good.
yeah. That game 3 was really clutch because the early game it was looking so rough, like double bounty, bunch of like cheap tanks, but
Yeah,
leaking a lot. But then the kingpin into the egg into the phoenix was just
yeah,
a really good line.
yeah. I think game series were returning around. The last 2 games, I just felt more comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, brought out the fiesta. Don't think anyone was expecting that, but it worked well.
Yeah.
And it was a real rough Fiesta start as well, right? Like, you had this kind of garbage build with a veteran, a peewee, and a looter, which didn't leak on 1, didn't leak on 2, didn't leak on 3. I think your first
Yeah.
leak was wave 6 with the like 80% leak.
Yeah, what a clutch hold by Shay on 6, by the way. That was
Yeah.
really insane.
Yes.
But that's how you win with style, boys. Like, you whip
The
out
other
the
thing, too,
Fiesta
with
when
his
it's match point.
Fiesta, Pee-wee is his best performing, or should I say veterans, his best performing unit.
Oh man. So can you tell me, like, what were you guys thinking after game 2? Because the pressure must have been on, right? Like, you've got to be feeling a little bit sweaty, a little bit stressed, but you managed to keep cool.
Yeah.
Well, I pretty much said, well, that's it, no more fucking around.
I was feeling a bit doomed, but I think there was a couple aggressive spells, and I just went cartel because it worked the last time we played them in the finals.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then
the cartel was great.
I got that out of the way, and then I was finally able to pick cash out because XGod wasn't on it.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I really enjoy the Conquest format as well because you just get to see a massive variety of mastermind options. Like, I think nearly all of the mastermind options were picked in this series. We saw lock-in, we saw YOLO, we saw cash out, we saw greed, we saw fiesta. Like, it was just insane. I think the ones missing were castle. There was no chaos, thankfully, because there's no pawn shop. I can guarantee if pawn shop was in the game, King Dan's was picking chaos.
Yeah, there was even a couple of games where people have redraw, which is interesting. But
Yeah.
a large variety of mastermind options being showcased here.
Yeah, I mean, Witter even played the lock-in Poda for game 4, I think, which was definitely different.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he locks in Priestess because of the Divine Blessing, right? Like, the Azaria is just an insane unit with that blessing. But Shay, sorry, you were sending to Widdowson that game. The Kraken on 12, crushing his Divine Blessing dreams.
Yeah. For some reason, I just, like, I had 400, and I was like, maybe Kraken just goes right on it and kills it. And it just, it turned out to be just enough.
It was perfect.
Lasered it.
On Wave 9, we were sending, like, I sent a GK and he had an Ogre, and his Azaria was surviving on, like, literally 0 HP and
That
pretty
was
much just
tilting.
covered in those. Yeah, it was a little bit, but then on 12, I saw the Kraken just slapping her down, and now it felt better.
Redeemed.
Yeah.
Yeah, the game was looking a little rough after the Azaria ult on 9, but
yeah,
you guys still had the right call on 12.
Yeah. Xgod, is this your 4th Nova Cup victory now?
I believe it's the 5th one.
The 5th? What? So it's the 2nd for you two as the Butter Boys, right?
Yeah. And I had 3 with Ashton before. 3 or 4, I think is, yeah.
Wow. What an insane run, dude. What an absolutely insane run.
You.
Like, you're just really showing your strengths here. And we had a bit of a chat before the series as well. Like, we have to mention that you are the all-time reigning peak ELO champion for Legion TD2 with your 3,121 or so, like knocking Ashton off the perch that he sat on for a year or so now, which is another pretty solid achievement. So you're getting quite a few titles. Highest ELO of all time, most Nova Cup victories of all time, most Polywog Cup victories of all time, like Superstar Cup, you were 2nd, I believe?
Place,
yeah, like you're just really racking up those trophies, dude. And Shay as well. Like, you've got the 2 Nova Cup victories, which is pretty damn good as well, right?
Yeah, what's interesting? It's when Ashton set that record in season 5. I haven't started playing the game.
Yeah. And now
That's
here you
crazy.
are in season 9, just topping the charts.
Because I started in season 6, and I played like maybe 50 games. I was silver, as you can see on my profile. But yes, that's probably like 2 or 3 years ago.
And now you're a little bit higher than silver, right?
Yeah, just slightly higher. Yes.
Just absolutely incredible play, guys. I was cheering for you. First, I was cheering for you guys just because I wanted to see the 5-game series. But after you did those 2 games in a row, I was like, come on, you've got to live the dream now. It has to be the reverse sweep. And you did?
We did, yeah.
It was tough, and it's a lot of games. I mean, our first round was 3 matches as well. So, yeah, it was a lot of games today.
Yeah.
And I think we just lost the game on the ladder beforehand. So.
But that was the warm-up game. It doesn't count.
Rough start, that's for sure.
Yeah, but you've got to get your bad luck out the way before the tournament, right? So that you get all the rolls going your way during. Oh, yeah. Just absolutely insane play, guys. Massive congratulations. And of course, a big shout out to King Dan and Widdowson because they gave you a run for your money, and no doubt.
Yeah. I mean, definitely. We could, I mean, game 0 was rough. We could have just lost 3-0, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. And you had to play all 3 of those games, like, at risk of losing because they only needed a single victory to push you over the edge, right? So,
but to be fair, after the 3rd game, I felt just way more comfortable playing. I was on game 4, doing the Fiesta stuff.
Yeah, that was you were really showing your cockiness there, let's say, because you're like, You've got a bit of swagger there when you go for the Fiesta on game number 4. Match point, by the way. And then game 5, I have to say, was just dominant. Like,
I think... Oh, sorry. I was going to say one of the biggest turning points is on game 3 when we lost that wave 15 race, I believe.
Yeah.
I was game 2, yeah.
Yeah, X-God, he said, like, we just need to start pushing workers. And I don't know if you saw that last game. Like, I had, like, 17 workers. Like,
Yeah, you
I
guys
was
were
just
pushing
going
really
for it.
aggressively.
Yeah.
I think
what I said was we need to be more assertive. Like if we target a wave, we just have to push. Like no fear, just go for it. Like that's how you have to do it, and that's.
Yeah, and you absolutely showed that in this last game. Like game number 5, I think was the most one-sided game of the entire series. You guys just destroyed your opponents. You know, you had that massive wave 3 into 8 send with the 260 sends against both of them, bringing their king down to 50%. And then you just go, you know what? Straight wave 12, 500, 600 Mythium sends to end the game. And you just didn't give them even the slightest room to breathe. You really squeezed the life out of them in that game. Like, they didn't have a chance, I feel like.
Yeah.
And their roles were pretty rough, but at the same time, like you just absolutely drove your way to victory in that game. Like an arrow, just straight to the point. Yeah, guys, I think we're probably coming to an end of our September Nova Cup stream. So once again, we have to say massive congratulations to X-God and Shay, our September champions. Commiserations to our runners-up, King Dans and Widdowson. You put on a hell of a show, as always. And yeah, we need to just send out a few thank yous, I guess. Ofma, massive thanks to my co-caster here. We all love your analytical skills. I know Twitch chat appreciates them a lot. You point out a ton of tiny details that I can miss while I'm kind of rambling on and shouting about things, and it's a massive help. So thanks to you for joining me, and of course a huge thanks goes out to all of the tournament organizers. That's Natto Dog, Schnurg, American Honey, and Slinky Dinky for his fancy Discord bot which handles all the check-ins. And I mean, we have like over 100 teams now playing in each Nova Cup. Like, without those guys doing all the work they do behind the scenes, these things just wouldn't happen. So you've got to say love to those guys for all that they do, the work that they put in. And these Nova Cups are just going from strength to strength, I think. So yeah, I think that's enough nonsense from me. Ofma, Shay, X-God, do any of you guys have some final words for the stream before we peace out?
Just thanks for having me on the cast. I really enjoyed it. Some great games, and congrats to Shay and X-God again for winning.
Thank you.
I'll do another shout out to Toykin server. I mean, the guys are always hanging out there. Even Pennywise is coming in there a couple times now. So like, yeah, just learn a lot from listening and them playing and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, that's a really good call. It's a nice little community hub where people kind of get together, share tips, watch each other's games, and just hang out. It's a real nice community feel to the place. So yeah, that's a good shout out, Shay. Thank you for that one. And on that note, guys, on that lovey-dovey shout out from Shay, I think we do have to end the stream here. So make sure you sign up for the October Nova Cup. Make sure you watch it, because if it's anything like this month, you will not want to miss the action. One final shout out reminder as well, I'll pop this in the chat rather than bringing up the images, is the skin competition. Get your designs submitted on the Legion TD subreddit. I think we should have some really cool artistic skins coming out of that one as well. So yeah, guys, it's been amazing. We'll see you next month. Goodbye.